Live with the finale. Wait, what? Oh, hi. Welcome to All Nerds Here. Welcome to all of Matthew Mercer's following. It's AAPI month. Do you know where your Asian friends are?
We're kicking it off with both barrels, y'all.
Oh my god.
Welcome to All Nerds Here, our little channel where we, the self colloquialized disaster party, are playing Masks, A New Generation. This is Varsity Hues, issue 18, episode 8, for those who've not been keeping up. Last time, everybody felt real sad. Everybody got caught up in their own feelings, and like they all went their separate ways, and they all like moped, and some of them committed crimes, some of them also committed crimes, and then other ones went to a theme park. And at the very end, there was a prison break had started, and all these like little threads are starting to converge back together. And that is the last time on the little blurb about the previous issue. Now we get to read all the writing team and all the people in charge of writing these characters. Let's start with our producer. Charu, who are you? Where can people find you? Who's your favorite runaway?
My name. Hello, everyone.
Say the girl with the dinosaur.
I'm Ru. My pronouns are she, her. I play Tanvi, whose pronouns are she, he. He is the reformed. I have been saying redeemed for a while, but it's actually the reformed playbook. I got it right this time. My favorite runaway. Sailor Jupiter is my answer to everything.
See, really, the right answer was Joan Jett, but
Jesus Christ!
I don't know what this thread is. I can't pick up this. I don't know where.
I appreciated that.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Tell jokes for me.
Ruby Soho.
Simon, who are you? Where can people find you? What's your favorite non-Richard Storm Fantastic Four member?
Wow. Okay. I'm Simon. My pronouns are he, she, and they. I am playing Manny Moreno, whose pronouns are he, him, who is the transformed. He's just a little bat boy. My favorite Fantastic Four member, it's got to be Ben Grimm, right? You don't want to catch him slipping on Yancey Street.
He's not one of the family, right? That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Alex, tell people who you are, where they can find you, and which is your favorite symbiote.
Oh man, I wish I had a better answer for that. Hi everyone, I'm Alex Guerrero. My pronouns are he, him. I'll be playing Filodhas, whose pronouns are she, her, using the Gladiator playbook by Brandon Lamb Gambetta. Most of what I know about Spider-Man I knew from like the 90s cartoon.
Yeah.
And I feel like Venom was really cool in that, and Carnage was like Venom but red. And the Sega Genesis game Venom was better, so I'm gonna call it Venom.
Okay.
Good
My
choice.
favorite symbiote is Jedzia Dax, but we beg to differ.
Oh well, heck. Well done. Well played.
Viditya, who are you? Where can people find you? Who's your favorite GoBot?
Fuck. Hi everybody, my name is Viditya Voleti. I use he, him pronouns. And I'm playing Rodasi. She who uses she, her pronouns. She's playing the Legacy playbook. Her legacy is Orbital, is her superhero name. And my favorite GoBot is give me just Beastbot.
What makes Beastbot your favorite GoBot?
I googled GoBot dinosaur.
Oh really? Really? Wow. You know what? You could have fooled me.
To uphold.
I was like, GoBots have to have a Dinobots equivalent. They have to. So there it is.
But do they terrorize or maximize?
I am Kevin Thien Nguyen. My pronouns are currently he, him. My favorite GoBot are the Rock Lords. Thanks.
What?
Forget that. Who's your favorite member of the Great Lakes Avengers?
Fuck. Oh, I'm not gonna Google this. I'm not gonna cop out like some people.
There is a correct answer here.
Well, first of all, I have to remember who's in the Great Lakes Avengers.
Nobody does.
Is
Not
Squirrel
even the
Girl
Great
one
Lakes
of them?
Avengers. Remember?
I picked Squirrel Girl. I don't care if
Yes.
she's on the team.
That's
she
the-
is.
oh,
I thought
yes.
so.
Oh,
Okay.
fuck off.
That's
I was like,
objectively
why do
the
I
correct
know
answer.
I knew
Great
a
Lakes
thing.
Adventures? It's
I
because
just
of Squirrel
watched-
Girl.
I just watched what's his face's video about like how he was almost on Squirrel Girl.
Sungwon Cha.
Yeah.
Ah.
Like a Sungwon video that's not 40 minutes long and eating stuff. Great. My content.
You're just a hater. It's fine.
How do we transition to the game from here?
There's no way.
We're
Speaking of
stuck. This
haters.
is where we're stuck. We're stuck in this whirlpool.
We get like we follow a little squirrel as it crawls off of a picnic table. It picks up is stolen a ball of kettle corn, and it crawls past the feet some furry hooves and boots of Flois and Manny. Flois and Manny, you're looking out across the field of this little park of the science park, and you see Dr. Jettison's big like old text like esque knockoff sign starting to teeter over and about to crash on a bunch of people. One of those people, a huge racist bigot who's a former superhero with his kid.
Readers at home forgot. A former villain has showed up in just civilian
Well,
areas.
A
Well,
former hero, right?
yeah,
villainous in nature, but
villainous in
not
nature.
not in any records.
A monster in hero's clothing.
Well, the only condition
very
I don't
Guillermo
have
del Toro
marked is insecure. So I'm actually not terrible at defending right now.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I think it kind of makes sense that if it's falling down all the way over there, I would be like, I'm gonna try and leap over there and like intercept this sign and knock it out of the way, maybe.
Well, and yeah, and
Yep,
you're
yeah.
looking to prove yourself too, right? Because you're still
Mhm.
feeling worthless.
Yeah. Although I think because I am feeling worthless, reminder for listeners, that's a Gladiator playbook feature where having suffered a humiliating defeat, my character is now just really not feeling it. So we see that her leap does not crack the earth the way that it used to when she takes off. She's flying for a couple more panels than usual to get there. And we'll see if I'm able to make it or not.
Yeah,
as I
do it,
roll
do it,
with
do it,
my
do it.
extremely powerful +0.
So take-
We got a 6. That's a
Oh!
miss.
I would like to assist you.
Unless that seems
We have team in the pool,
Oh,
and we already had this
finally.
moment where we were hanging out together.
yeah.
Let me look at how much
Continue
team we
team.
have in the pool still. It's 1. Okay, perfect. So
Good
I think
luck,
we
everybody else.
both see this collapsing, and you rush first.
Mhm.
And I think Manny sees that you're struggling, maybe because
Yeah,
your
yeah.
confidence is shaken,
Right.
and he shifts into war form, and is like trying to keep everything held up.
That's awesome. Okay. Well, I.
Holy heck, we got a big raid!
Hello.
Welcome, Fun and Games and friends. You are just in time for some masks, a new generation. This is
Welcome.
we are all nerds here.
All of
We
our
are all
are
nerds here.
Yeah, a bunch of nerds finally showed up.
We're playing teenage superheroes who have to deal with teenage feelings and systemic oppression.
Is
And the gladiator, Flois Fond, has just made a heroic leap, almost failing to save a crowd of civilians from a falling billboard, but is helped by her teammate, Kamazats. And so when I successfully defend someone or something from an immediate threat, I am going to let's see. So for NPC threats, I keep them safe, and I'm gonna choose to. I can take influence over someone I protect, which would be really interesting.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Given that there's a guy who wants to kill us and is a
Right.
horrible
There's a
anti-
bigot that you're saving
Yeah.
the life
for,
of.
for raiders that are coming in, we're currently choosing to be heroes and save a bad person.
This is
Yeah.
the first time I've ever rolled to vend, so that's exciting for me.
That's
First
very
time
cool.
anybody's rolled
Okay.
defend in the history of masks.
Hey now.
You know,
okay.
I have a move that has to deal with defending, and I just have not really had a chance to do it.
Viditya, there's so
how
much
it
your character
goes.
can do that you choose not to engage with, but we keep
Okay,
that off screen.
I'm gonna take influence over someone I protect. Yeah,
I love
think,
that.
I think that's
Perfect.
really fun. And then I'm still at 4 conditions and just about to fall over at any moment, which I'm enjoying. So I think that means I must land like right next to our boy, and
Yeah.
obviously he recognizes me from the time that we went to his barbecue and attacked his house.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And he's you see this guy, like we get the sort of like you are in the foreground of this, so we don't get like clear picture of you, but like you're clearly holding up this sign of Dr. Jensen that's like got this big old stupid goofy smile, this 1950 smile, like in yellow stained teeth. And we get this picture of this man probably in his like late 50s, but like really athletic, really in shape, has obviously maintained, and sort of a really close cropped haircut, square jaw, looking like Captain America, but he's scowling at you and he looks like he is full of hate. And if it not like for him holding this young child who is just losing their mind, this young boy is losing their mind as like something is about to fall on them, and there's just chaos in this theme park. This guy would come at you right now, but is not.
Amazing. I think the best part is that I don't know who he is, because
No.
he at the time, and like there's no reason we would have talked about it. So I think she's like boom, setting the sign down, and just like leaning against it a little more than usual. And she says like, "Don't worry, citizen, you're safe now."
Nice.
Appreciated, just like gritted teeth, and like sort of like scurries to take the kid out of the fray. Manny, you know who that person is. What's
Right.
your reaction to the sequels?
Well, here's my question. I'm in battle form, which the last time this guy saw me, I was pinning him to the ground,
Mhm.
snarling in his face, dribbling like bat slobber, and then I exploded out of his roof.
Mhm.
So I don't want to know what he does as he like sees me, because I rush to help, right? And there's like a moment I think
Right.
of recognition where the two of us are kind of like locked eyes. Manny's like just standing down, like I think there's a good panel, like a wide shot where Manny's in the big hulking quadrupedal bat form, purple bat form,
Mhm.
and he's, you know, on the other side of the boardwalk holding the kid back,
Mhm.
just staring at each other like that.
Mm.
He also like obviously stares daggers into you, and I think you see like around his boots, around his feet, like armor starts to form up, like a very Iron Man knockoff like type armor, like starts to form up around his boots, and like he flinches, and like you see him reach behind his back like he's gonna grab a gun, but he doesn't. He like thinks a little bit better of it. He's like,
Right.
next time.
Manny like kind of he stays very cool. He's very clearly trying to restrain himself. He is feeling angry right
Yeah.
now, so he's like trying to pull his punches. I remember your smell. You don't want to do that. Whatever you think you can do with that pea shooter. The last time we met, I had the upper hand, and I could have broken you, but I let you walk. I've decided to be the bigger person. I suggest you walk away and accept my friend's generosity.
like there's so much, like you can see like this whole conversation going on between him and himself, his ego and his id going on behind his face, and he picks up his kid and starts running with the crowd.
That's what I thought.
Rodasi, you are starting to come to. Your vision is blurred. Your ears are ringing. There's only one Sean now in the car. Everything's upside down for some reason. This is not your powers. The car is smoking. There's gas leaking from the car. There's fire like sputtering in the distance, leading up to the gas line.
Oh no! Oh no!
You're obviously buckled up. You're sitting there in the seat. Sean is like on the roof on the ground because he is an idiot who does not buckle up.
Sean.
The fact that he's still in the car is a miracle.
Oh no! Rodasi. So there is like, wait, just like there is. It is about to fucking explode. Like there's like a trail. Okay.
There's fire and there's gas. There's gas like leaking towards a small little fire, like in the distance where the bus also crashed over, hit something else as it rolled over you, and you're a little blue bug.
Oh my god. Shit. I mean, can I try and like, I'm upside down, buckled in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think like, I feel like Rodasi's just gonna like try and. God, she's panicking. I'm panicking.
First thought, best thought.
Yeah. I think she's just gonna like try and like she's trying to get out of her seat and see if she can just like launch her and Sean out of there.
Yeah, easy enough. That's not like, it's not dramatic.
Yeah, you have
just
density
cool.
control.
Yeah.
I just want to because I think she's just on autopilot at this point, like just gonna try and grab him and then just basically like a can, like a tin can, just like rips open the side of the car, doesn't even care,
No.
and then just scurries out, like flies out of there.
What does that panel look like? Is you have like a? Did we talk about the color that your powers have?
Yeah,
Like, do you have an aura?
Yeah, it's like so like we have our like neon sunset colors. It's it's like a purple and pink, kind of like those outrun hues. It's very bisexual colors. Is also another way to look at it. So like the I think like the way it's shown as like a panel is that there's like this, it's scattered panels. Like there's a whole page of just like a bunch of scattered panels, all like showing different bits of this scene, right? So like, you know, there's a small panel of like the Flay, and there's a small panel of Sean, there's a small panel of Rodasi all over the place, just various like knickknacks all over the place and glass shards, and then like and then just like one, and then like on the and then the next page, like it's two panels, but like the border panel is just like torn open as like that like represents the side of the car door. As Rodasi kind of like flies out of there, you know.
There's like a small little, like almost imperceptible speech bubble from Sean that says, "You take me to such the nicest places." He mutters like in his unconsciousness.
Yes.
The writers are unable to help themselves.
I think like
This is the worst date.
Like I think like Rodasi also like zips out of there, but then like stumbles, is still disoriented. I think she's like holding on to Sean.
Yeah. Like
just and like tumbles and is like, I'm gonna fucking. She just kind of like is on the ground with him and is like, God. Maybe it's like I should stop asking you out on dates.
I imagine this is like a very Crisis on Infinite Earths, like Superman holding up Supergirl like type page, like
Oh
it's homage to that. And in the background, you chose to save Sean, but not the car, so the car's gonna blow up. The car's gone.
The car's gone.
The little blue beetle has exploded.
No.
Oh, rip.
Not the car.
Consequences.
Sean's got Sean does not have insurance.
No.
No.
No, absolutely.
That car's not even registered.
Also, really quick, Zoom reduced my volume again. So I saw somebody in chat saying that I was kind of low. So hopefully that sounds a little better. Do you hear a difference?
Yeah,
You
you're
just have to
Yeah.
find it, you know.
Okay, cool. Yeah. to drop my volume again.
Does do that.
It does do that. What was the last thing you said, Kevin?
So we get that the scene of you like holding Sean like,
Mhm.
and like sort of apologizing, and I think we followed to an over the shoulder like sort of image, and you're looking at the bus, it's overturned, and you see like two mooks, like two no-name villains,
Yeah.
like run out in like sort of bright pink jumpsuits. Nobody like worth chasing at this point, but you do see a huge fucking rock that the rock that slammed into the side of this bus is embedded in the bus and has made this bus like an L shape now.
Mm-hmm. Oh. How far away is this? So like we're all still like me, Sean, this bus, this whole wreck, we're all kind of on like this intersection, right?
Yeah, an immediate area.
Okay, cool. How far away is Floss and Manny?
Manny.
wanna say
Probably
Rodasi
imperceptible to you, like just because the bus is so big and like they're underneath
Yeah.
the sign right now.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious
Yeah.
the vicinity. So we're all
Mhm.
like within vicinity of seeing this bus,
Yeah.
but we haven't noticed each other.
Yeah, you're all
Kind of.
there's like the bus is the focal point, and all of you are like just points around it, like
Okay.
in like this tangential web. Y'all just need to connect.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh god, Rodasi really. I think her first instinct is to try and get Sean to a proper place. If he's out, because she's gonna be like, "Are you hurt? Are you okay?" Like, just kind of try and like talk to him in this like after the little panel spread, right?
Yeah. He tells you he has cancer.
Sean, not now. We gotta take this seriously, bud. Okay, I gotta get you. I'm gonna start. I really want to look around. Can I assess the situation as like I'm kind of like actually like piecing together what's going on?
No.
Did you say no?
Not allowed.
Oh, good. I'm glad I'm doing that because I am guilty and my superior is at a -1. So
Hey, we love
Oh
that.
boy.
What
That
is
is
what does your
fair.
tactical vision look like? Like on
Do
the
I have-
panel, on the page, like
I think it's still I kind of want it to like mirror like I don't like it it's just like me looking around and I think it's still like disoriented like weird little scattered panels around like there's
Big
this
use of the
big
blur tool.
yeah like there's like a big there's like the bus is
Yeah.
like right in focus, like that's really drawing my attention and I'm trying to move away from it. Like the way I'm thinking about it is the reader is constantly refocusing on the bus as they're trying to like piece out what the rest of the stuff is the layout of how the artist is trying
Nice.
to...
yeah, like
In any other
the
context, this would be a
images.
bad page. Like this would be a
Yes.
very frenetic page, but like in this context, that's what they want. They want you to
Yeah.
be confused. They don't want you to know where to look.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
And maybe there's like an effect that looks like a highlighter has drawn around the bus every time.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
You know?
Ooh.
Yeah. We're bringing back the school materials that we keep using,
Yeah.
and I love it. All right, let's fucking roll for assess the situation.
Plus
Plus
superior,
superior.
baby.
Wow. I did very good. All
Hey,
things
whoa.
considered.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit. That is an 8. So I do hit.
Ask one.
Assess the situation. Ask 1. Take +1 when acting on the answer. So I get to either ask, what here can I use to blank? What here is the biggest threat? What here is the greatest danger? Who here is the most vulnerable to meet? And how could we best end this quickly? Oh shit. Because I think like I'm looking for help for Sean. I'm just like, is there?
For Sean.
Yeah, I'm like, or like, is there like a medical tent? Is there like it's a crisis? Like she's like, there's a what? Like at an amusement park.
So what here can I use to
To
protect Sean?
to protect Sean, I think.
To
is-
protect Sean.
is-
Okay.
Yeah.
You see some like uniformed officers are on the ground. They're like directing the chaos. They're directing a lot of people to get out.
Yeah.
And then sort of down up the street in their direction, like blocked off by traffic because everybody's trying to get out or get in. They're stuck and cars are crushed. There's an ambulance coming or trying to come.
Okay, I see.
Is it
So-
obstructed then?
Yeah.
Yes, by traffic. But it's not like if you like spend the effort to go over there, like and drop Sean off in their custody or whatever, Sean would be like that gets Sean out of immediate danger instead of just lying him here.
Yeah. I think like this is and this is a little bit, like a little bit of a culmination of things that have been happening in Rodasi's story is that she's like, this is a chance for her to like jump in and try and be a hero, but it's like, I think like we kind of see that in the things that started to focus is like the bus, right? It's like all these kind of things to be all like, I can be like a big guy, and that like the big guy on scene, but what's important, like, the role is like, it focuses back on Sean, it focuses back on the thing, and it's like, I have to help this person who I brought into this mess. Like, that's the important thing right now. And then I think Rodasi's gonna like kind of bounce out and try and go down. She's planning on coming back. Like, I think she goes to the ambulance and is like, we got hit by the bus, like there's a lot happening, tell me how I can help, and please help him, like, and she kind of like tries to carefully hand off to some EMT. You are muted, Kevin.
You're muted.
Good one.
Not everyone else.
Got
Good
him.
one.
Did it. Pack it in.
That's issue 18. Varsity Hues. Thank you so much for joining us.
Kevin just
Rue,
cancels this.
who are you, and where can people find you? You can catch 3 of us tomorrow on a panel about sports, and I'll be on a panel.
Save it.
Don't burn pod. Well, speaking of, what is Tanvi doing? Because you're like coming to in the bus, and there's like the fuel line that's about to explode, right?
Tanvi is not in the bus. Real quick, to see where Tanvi is, we're going to flash back a little bit, and Tanvi is in an armored car driving up, having a little fun field trip with a bunch of other villains. Tanvi's in the back, sitting next to Lila, and like some other masked person who's not going to be relevant. They're probably going to die off in some side series.
Not today, okay.
like a Hydra henchman.
Yeah.
Some
Or
person
a
in a
Joker goon.
Tanvi, do you just ride? Are you just going along for the ride real quiet, or talking?
Yeah, I think she's like maybe making a little bit of small talk, but I think part of it is she's just trying to like, because she didn't, so in the last session, she was given a rundown of what is supposed to happen on this plan, which she did not listen to because she was feeling bad about her friends and her outburst earlier. So she doesn't know what this plan is outside of we're breaking someone out of a bus that is heading towards a prison. That's all she knows. And Lila is running this mission. Maybe she also missed if someone else is leading this, because that probably was information in that same rundown.
Right.
So all she knows is we're all here to break this person out from this bus. And so I think she's like kind of saying things here and there, mostly is like trying to run through as many possibilities of what her part in this should be. So like I think we see like panels where everyone's kind of like, like blue scale or something. They're just like background noise, and she's probably just like, yeah, I'm so amped to break. I don't know, she's just making some weird random like talk, and she doesn't really know any of these people anymore, like a lot of these new like recruits or whatever. She's a little rusty on the villain talk,
Villain banter.
yeah. And like we just see like kind of her running through in her mind like, okay, well, my power, she's like, clearly people are, everyone's got their job based on their powers, I assume. So, okay, my power's a rock. What could I, maybe I'm busting into this prison so we can get into it. Maybe I'm creating a barrier. And so they're just these like little pictures as she tries to like figure out what her role could possibly be. And every once in a while she's trying to see if she can get a sense of like, are people preparing? Is she the first one that is supposed to act? Like, are other people supposed to be? Are they like? If she sees like no one doing anything, she's like, maybe I'm the one who's supposed to do something first. Maybe that's what it is. I have to break in.
Where this would be like typically for like a super villain like squad, like real tough guys like getting ready. It'd be like. You would expect it to be like real Predator, like them like loading guns and the chopper and like sort of like oiling up their muscles and shit like that.
Like the Suicide
These are all,
Squad beginning.
Yeah, no, these are all kids like goofing around, like they're throwing shit and like slapping each other on the bus. And,
It's
like,
the back of the bus, yeah.
It's literally the
and they're all like goofing off, like excited to like have some fun, cause some mayhem. And Lila's sitting next to you, absolutely quiet, just staring dead forward. And then this other kid, like, is talking your ear off. Like, you're not really registering much of it.
Perfect. That will help hide the fact that I'm saying nothing of value.
Right.
It's like a speech bubble that just has scribbles in it.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I'm like, oh, that's super cool. Okay.
Yeah, the occasional word kind of pops with Roblox, and you're like, yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
Football practice.
I haven't tried that out. The new update? I don't know.
I don't know.
Extra credit.
Yeah. So Lila's just sitting quietly. Has she like interacted with anyone else? Have I seen her like interacting with anyone, or is she just kind of like she gave her
There might have been like a really
instructions?
hard turn earlier and you like bumped into her and like she looked at you pretty angry and annoyed, but like otherwise is not interacting with anybody.
Tanvi's just like, I haven't even fucked up yet. What the hell? I think Tanvi is she's gonna try to attempt to see if she can like possibly talk to Lila and get some information of what she's supposed to do without like letting on that she doesn't know.
Sounds like you're trying to pierce the mask.
Yeah, that
Trying to
probably
get into her head.
Yeah. I'm trying to think like how she would even approach that conversation. I think maybe it would just be like, so you came up with this entire thing yourself? This has a lot of moving parts to it. I guess this is the first one time you're gonna get this out of me. I'm somewhat impressed that you've got all this on lock and you've come up with this. At least when I worked with Turnabout, I just kind of worked under him and he made all the plans. I guess it speaks to your abilities that you're getting some kind of leadership role. Don't ever, bring this up again, this conversation, but it just thought I'd let you know that I'm impressed.
This is our job. Like she's like suddenly turns at you and it's like so close to like grabbing you by the collar and lifting you up against the wall. This is our job. They have nothing to do with this.
Oh, our as in hers and mine?
No, you know her. Her and her symbiote, her little alien that lives in the base of her skull.
Yeah.
That's right. I fucking forgot about that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, lets her read minds and do weird nightmare shit.
Neither of those things are our set, but cool.
That's what I thought it was, wasn't it?
So far, it lets her summon my parents from a different galaxy.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because they're worried about it.
There's power amplification.
Yeah.
Emotion amplification.
Emotion amplification.
She's like she'll convey emotions and amplify your emotions. Empath is her villain name.
She's an
Empath.
That's pretty good.
That's great.
That's good.
Jesus.
Fuck yeah.
She has a really popular TikTok that she follows. Oh, okay. Jesus. Okay, it's your job. Okay, I missed when you said that. I was admiring your handiwork, and I must have missed when you said that this was just your job. That's surprising, I guess. I never really had opportunities to work on my own things when I was working with Turnabout. You're still
We take
with
what we
them?
want.
Sorry?
They think they just want small. They think so small. They have so little ambition for us.
Turnabout does?
She's not gonna say yes, but you get that. Yeah.
Yeah, I get the sense.
It's implied, yeah.
Yeah. There's like real intensity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
feel like this is where you hit the move for your mundane.
Ooh.
Because you've been like nudging and trying to be
Yeah.
like, yeah, so what's this really about? Like, what's going on?
Mhm. Yeah. I'm not surprised. They kind of see things in their narrow path about what they want, but Turnabout's not necessarily someone who's looking at the big picture. You're on the money there.
They take and they take and they take and they never give.
Gonna do my roll. Yes. Hit an 8.
Hey,
8. You get to ask 1.
Okay, let me.
what are you really planning?
There it is.
What do you
Yeah.
want me to do? What do you intend to do? How could I get your character to blank? How could I get influence over you?
There's a good angle for you to get.
Some
No.
good
Yeah.
meat there.
Yeah. I was aiming just to get my part in all of this, but there is hearing what she has to say. There might be a more interesting thing to get.
Yeah, that's great. The emotional
I-
stakes are even higher
Yeah.
than the practical ones.
No, that's so good. I could learn my part. Like you came in it's like you came in selfishly, but now you're like concerned, and it's like
I could
which
learn my
one?
lines, but there's some cheese may going on here.
I do want to know who is getting with who.
She's May.
Yes. Ooh. Yeah, I think Tanvi is kind of caught up in this conversation and forgets that the whole point of this was just to learn her part and then be done with it.
Right.
Especially because I think even when she was leaving her villainous days, although Lila was like her replacement and she's angry at her for that, I think she is still kind of concerned because the whole reason she figured out that she was being used was because she saw Lila being used too, and she was like, oh wow, this situation sucks.
Did we ever say this out loud? But do you have like a sibling relationship to Lila? Is that kind of how you two see each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tanvi did all the hard work and carved the path, and Lila just got the benefit from all that. And
That's
Turnabout
actually. See?
never asked Tanvi if Tanvi wanted dessert.
Lila didn't get the fucking the structure and the support that Tanvi was like. I'm not saying it wasn't hard for Tanvi, but I mean, sorry, Lila's not saying it wasn't.
Leela gets to have a sleepover?
When
You told me I
they-
couldn't do that until I went to college.
When they ate out, Tanvi had to buy her own soda at the restaurant.
Oh my god.
It builds character.
Thought we never got to have a Happy Meal. They just said they had chicken nuggets at home.
They had to have the 20-piece. They couldn't have the Happy Meal because it's not worth it.
It's not economical.
Only the apple slices.
Am I the only younger sibling here? I care. Yes.
It feels that way.
I think I think so.
I think you are.
Yeah.
You're outnumbered.
Which question did you go with?
Stuck between what are you really planning and what do you intend to do?
Ooh, nice.
Intend to do is more immediate, right? And then
Right.
really planning is a little bit more like, what's her game plan?
Yeah, it's more about the long game.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's kind of what Tanvi wants to know, especially with the way this conversation was going. Like, what is this, like, giant plan? Because, yeah, originally Tanvi was like, oh, this is just some job from Sparrow or Turnabout, like some older mentor that's just, you know, getting us to do some random thing.
Mm-hmm. Like as they're talking, like sort of, they have like a little monologue and stuff. They're talking about like they want to free like us. They say, and like the us is not like the italicized us. It's not like her.
It's not them in the
their
same.
collective
Yeah.
pronouns. They're talking about like a greater collective us, and sort of saying that they don't feel like people need to be like held back. People don't need to conform to the rules of the people who don't understand and don't know what it's like. And then you start looking around, that kid next to you, he's the fullback on the football team. The kid three seats up, he's in your literature class. Half this bus is other students from your school
Okay.
Damn.
that Lila has been recruiting into her little mutant revolution front.
Yeah.
Hey, remember when Lila showed up and was like, "Hey, I just need you to cover for me and help me fit in"? I don't have any ulterior motives here.
Tanvi was like,
Wow.
alright.
And then you like just kept doing hero shit and kept doing community service and like left her to her own devices.
As I said I would. Tanvi's like,
Yeah.
I am nothing if not true to my word.
I'm no.
I stayed out of your way. That's what
Up
I
at the
did.
very
You asked
front.
me to do, and I did it.
And
Is that Becky Kelsey in a domino mask? It finally clicks.
No. Becky Kelsey.
Not Becky
no.
Kelsey.
Why is she here? She's just a normal kid.
she's,
Yeah, but she could be so much more.
she's like, I could try.
We need allies in all fights.
Stop.
Hawkeye exists.
We all have a role to play in the war.
Wow.
Damn.
That's how Becky Kelsey got recruited. We all have a part play. She's like, mine must be really important, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Couldn't possibly be fodder.
There's a little editor's note that says if you read one of the side issues that was never aired and you had to go out and buy it on your own, and you had to find it on the website, it's digital only.
A
It showed
webisode.
Yeah, it showed Becky Kelsey having her own little special issue where she was dealing with the trauma of her dad dying and like her dad's car being wrecked, and then slowly but surely she discovers she has powers. She has witch powers, and none of these characters are around to help her cope with that. Lila was.
Oh my
Aw.
god. Wait, so there was like a digital only side series of this buildup of like Lila's small little adventures.
Yeah, it was on the app.
There was one
Yeah.
where like,
For the
she
comic.
tries to recruit Dick Brick, but like he's too dull, he's too stupid to really catch on
It's
to the
because
thread.
it's because Flois cultivated a beautiful relationship with Dick
Mhm.
Brick.
You give him too much credit.
Fucking forget every time that's his name.
Richard Brick.
Richard Brick.
Yep.
Richard Brickard.
Yeah, I think it's only now that Tanvi even notices that the other people in the armored car are students she has been way in her own head. She's like, oh, I know that guy. I've seen him somewhere. Tanvi doesn't pay attention if it's like literature class or whatever. She's like, that person looks familiar. But yeah. I'm trying to think what her response to this would be. I don't know that she's
And like she's like, you're probably like still thinking, you're like processing this, and like you're starting like realizing like it's the shots of you like seeing like, oh shit, these are other kids from the school, and like some of them are actual legit villains because you need to pad out the ranks.
Right.
You can't just have a bunch of amateurs. And then and then Lila just yells at you, "What are you doing? Go!" and points, and there's the bus right next to you.
Yeah,
Perfect.
fuck yeah.
This is
That's it. Yeah.
This is where Tanvi shines. Where no prep. Yeah, I think Tanvi's just like, yep, it's my time, and she just complete just instincts of the bus is there. We need to get someone out of the bus. Okay, and just like shoves a bunch of rock up to like slam into this bus. She's like, I got it. I understand the assignment.
You just overturn it. Yeah.
And then like the back of this armored car like opens up, and like he realizes like it's just somebody, one of these kids' dad's Brinks truck that's been painted red, or no, blue, I guess.
Yeah.
Because red's already a ticking color, and like you all just you all like have your own little superhero like splash page of all these little villains
Flooding out,
Pouring
and
out
just
of it.
we just get this big like these big block letters, the Mutant Revolution Front.
Nice.
Tanvi's just like, all right, I'm in this now. I'm
Yeah.
in this thing now.
Flois, you have successfully set down and settled the Dr. Jettison facsimile. It is settled. All the people are out of danger from it. There are a couple explosions on the street, like just outside the park. And some of the cars in the parking lot have exploded just by sort of the ripple effects.
Yeah.
Manny, you watched the yet unnamed, to your knowledge, individual, vigilante, racist, run away with his kid. Y'all gonna go home, or a churro stands unattended?
Ooh, well,
We could
what's
all
that
be
again?
doing crime.
They are $7.95 a piece regularly.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's the injustice, really.
Yeah, it's already a crime.
$7.95 for a friggin' churro?
Churro
I'm pretty
better
sure
be the
that's like a
size of your arm.
conservative estimate of Southern California theme parks.
Okay, I think I am gonna do one of my patented flying leaps up onto like the some of the like heavy metal scaffolding around like one of the big amusement park rides. They got like the zipper, the one that like turns and spins around. And we see her little sense tendrils like spread out as she like tries to take in the view and figure out what the heck is going on here.
From up there, you see this bus is overturned. It's got a huge rock in it. You see, I don't think you recognize it, but like in the frame, we see the remnants of this little blue beetle that's exploded. We see like the hood on this side, and we see the bumper on this side of the frame. You do see Rodasi like sort of handing over Sean to EMTs, to emergency personnel, and you see out of an armored van, like where the path of the bus rolling over obviously is, like this armored van, a bunch of people are flowing out, a bunch of them in super costumes, or like sort of like those homemade mostly type super costumes, like very Spider-Man in the wrestling fight.
Yeah.
Imagine like a lot of
Nice.
kick-ass kind of style costumes.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Zentai suits over under like a leather jacket. Yeah. Poise costume.
Exactly, yeah.
Shout out to 13th Street Wardens.
Hey.
So I think I shout to Manny, I have no idea what's going on. I'm gonna head over. And just sort of like jump down towards the group of villains. Or I mean, group of people
Village?
pouring
Yeah, you
out of a
don't know.
thing. Maybe they're
don't
cool.
know.
Maybe they're fine.
The way the panels framed, they're definitely looking like villains.
Yeah, yeah.
We're making
You can sort of
Not many
tell.
people.
Not many people like just flat out of armored vans right next to where a bus was flipped over.
Right.
Right. From standing.
Yeah.
Just the poof. Foom, foom, big bat wings.
Mhm.
And starts soaring over after Floas. I think while he's flying, his eyes get like really big. They kind of, they're already these kind of bright green, like predatory bat eyes, but they grow even like bigger and more bulbous as like binocular vision. And so we do another panel that's kind of like a zoomed in of like, here's all the little dots of people running around on the ground, and then zooming in to look at all the different crisis elements, kind of like a more clear parallel to
Yeah.
Rodasi's tactical vision.
Mhm.
So I'd like to try and assess the situation using my inhuman senses.
Go ahead and roll plus superior.
I would love to.
Situation. Very assess.
I'm not good at this right now.
Hey, neither was I. Yep.
Hey, I'll take it.
Nice.
Double sixes. So I get 2 questions. What here is in the greatest danger,
Mm-hmm.
and what here is the biggest threat?
Well, you see, the bus, you do see that sort of Sunset City Correctional is on the side of the bus, and like sort of by your read, it's obviously some sort of prison break by the people flooding out of this van and stuff. And you're looking around, and like there's this huge rock that flew out, and like at the front of this group of people running, shit, is that Tanvi? Is that Tremor?
So yeah, it's like a bunch of nobody heroes,
Yeah,
but Tanvi is really the most powered person there.
yeah. And Tanvi,
villain.
obviously the one who's thrown this boulder-sized like piece of asphalt onto this bus and caused it to
Yeah,
roll over,
good
causing
answer.
all this destruction.
Good answer.
It's the biggest threat, right?
And what is in the greatest danger?
The greatest danger would be the occupants of the bus.
Okay. And they're presumably like prisoners.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
them included. Yes. Yep.
I think I'm gonna mark my Doom track to use
go.
a power, which is telepathy.
Uh-huh.
So we see the different like zoom ins. Manny has a moment of realization. It cuts back to his giant like bat monster face,
Mhm.
and there's a kind of ghostly Jedi version of his boy face
Mhm.
next to it,
Mhm.
who like looks like in shock. It's like as a little Tanvi growls out of his mouth with a question mark. It's like, oh my god, what's happening?
Right.
And then he like furrows his brow, and there's kind of that wispy, gloopy purple shadow effect out of his forehead. It cuts down to Floas, who's jumping, and the little gloop appears like by Floas's forehead.
Yes.
And in your mind, Manny says, "They're trying to break somebody out. Tanvi's leading the charge."
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Lois says nice.
Good.
Good for her. He's living his best life.
Girl boss me. Gaslight.
Yeah, I think this is going to be funnier the longer that I don't understand that you're not on our side.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we reasonably would be like, what?
Yeah. Up until
what's
now,
happening?
she's been the redeemed, not the reformed, the redeemed. She's finished her journey.
Yeah.
Tanvi
So
can't be
it,
blamed for my mistake.
in addition to this, Manny's gonna like dive bomb. Like the wings come back,
Mhm.
and then trying spear point, just boom. There's a huge cloud of dirt and smoke coming off of the ground as Manny lands in front of the bus, and looms up to his full height, which he hasn't really done outside of like it's a parallel to the when he rips out of the roof of the barbecue house,
Mm-hmm.
kind of that same pose, but it's more assured rather than like I'm destroying. It's more like
Yeah.
face me.
Nice.
So he throws his wings back and goes, "You're gonna have to go through me first."
Tanvi, get out of chat. You're playing.
No.
Okay, we get to sit here while you...
Viditya, get a footer.
Oh,
Not
God.
this time. You're fine. It's a callback.
So the two of us
No,
are,
he
are,
was on
are facing you down, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to push that and trigger a move.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's roaring. I think he like really looms over the villains that are rushing, and like lets out a screech, like a bat screech, like there's a horrible like ee.
Mhm.
Maybe a couple of bats like actually fly out of the like sunsetting area like behind him.
No,
Very like
absolutely.
Batman Begins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nice.
100%.
You trying to unleash your powers, or you
I'm
have
trying
a
to be
more
the
specific-
monster.
Oh, perfect.
Oh.
That's an 8. On a hit, they are thrown off. So when I frighten, intimidate, or cow others with my monstrous form, roll plus freak. On a hit, they are thrown off and make themselves vulnerable to you, or they flee. On a 7 and 9, choose 2. So they're thrown off and either become vulnerable or they run away. That happens.
Mhm.
And then I choose to either frighten others I had not intended to scare, hurt someone or break something I shouldn't have, feel like more of a monster afterwards, and mark a condition, the GM's choice. I'm going to frighten others I had not intended to scare.
Okay.
Can it be me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit more interesting than like civilians who are like not
Yeah.
really in play.
And I'm going to hurt someone or break something I shouldn't have. No, feel like more of a monster afterward.
That seems right.
That's because that'll go hand in hand there.
I know exactly how you do that.
Nice.
That's
So I think we get a
balanced.
couple of panels of like the various members of the little villain group being like and putting their hands over their ears. But then we also see Phyllis, who is like heroically standing next to you, just like go down to her knee, and like her little sense tendrils are like curled up in like tiny little spirals.
Oh yeah.
Like the sound is just really hurting
It's
her.
awful.
Oh.
And she's just like, stop it.
And you're also like already on edge because you're feeling worthless.
Yeah. And I think she
Now you're
she
seeing
like
us
does a
fight.
little bit of a like scrambling away from you, like kind of on the ground, backing away, but like that's also bringing her towards the others who she's not looking at.
Yeah. And Manny looks down at Flois and sees that, and he's like, "Oh my god, I did not mean to do that." In his mind, he's like, how could I do this to Flois? But I can't look weak in front of the others.
Oh, that's so good. So like
I have to
you don't
to
cut
do
the
this.
scream off. You keep it
He
going.
doesn't. He like
That's
keeps
so
it
good.
going.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Which makes him feel like a monster because he's
Yeah.
like, I have to play into this role that I've chosen for
Yeah.
myself.
The like big bold E's at the bottom of the panel are still just keeping going.
Yeah.
And I think this the crowd of like sort of the no-name kids like are all like they're all covering their ears, and like they're not fleeing, but because they've been bolstered by Lila, like they're like kicked out to being taken aback, sort of thrown off guard. And then like as you're like still screaming and you're meeting eyes with Tanvi, you see Lila walking up behind Tanvi and looking at you,
Yeah.
Like very reminiscent of the way that like she showed up at the edge of that alley when Manny was being bullied when she first joins the series.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very good.
Two things happen. One, you make me mark a condition.
Mhm.
Your choices are either afraid, guilty, or hopeless.
Ooh, guilty.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was going to do. The other thing is, I have Doom tracks and such. So, one of the things that brings my Doom closer is frightening loved ones. And Floes is a loved one.
Oh,
So
you
I
care.
mark my Doom track, which fills it. So I'll take another Doom sign and take another thing as Manny feels closer to becoming a monster. And I think seeing that, maybe we shift panels to Rodasi.
Yeah, I think like sort of we get the onomatopoeia of the E, like sort of carries over to where Rodasi is, Rodasi's panel, as like she sort of turns around, having given Sean over to the custody of the police and the EMTs, who him being a known criminal will, or that'll end up fine.
I hate that you do this to me, Kevin. I hate what horrible situations you put me because I'm like, no, this is the right thing to do, and it's a catch-22 is what you Sean. There is never a right option with Sean, and I hate
There's really a right option for anybody, and like really, that's I believe
That's
put
TTR.
hard choices in front of your players is one of the GM principles.
It is. You're just following your GM agenda.
So really, go bitch and moan
That's
at
not
Conway.
me. It's what the
I'm gonna
GM would
complain
do.
to Brendan Conway. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like, your game makes me look like an ass. Oh shit.
To be fair, so far you look the best out of basically any of us in this scene.
Yeah.
In this
You saved
situation.
someone. It's just like
You saved a
dumb
non-racist.
That's right.
Damn. Wait till you see Sean.
oh no.
No.
We did this. Sean could have been innocent.
I think Rodasi is okay, so she's going to she hears the scream, she looks over, she sees
Becky kills.
she sees everything. I mean Becky Kelsey's got a dominant mask on. We have no idea who she is.
Yeah, that's foolproof.
God, that is just a person who looks eerily like Becky Kelsey, but could possibly never be Becky Kelsey.
Has the
Yeah.
same blonde power ponytail and everything.
Yeah.
The blonde high pony. Like there's only one in the series so far, but yet.
And yet,
No one else has blonde hair.
I think so. She kind of looks over there, kind of looks at like this emergency services, like kind of being, like gridlocked by like a bunch of traffic to help people who are in this area. And I want, and like you kind of see Rodasi being like there's gears turning in her head, and she like flies up to try and get like a bunch of people's attention around the emergency vehicles. And I want to so Symbol of Authority directs like give an NPC. Can I direct like a crowd of civilians as Symbol of Authority?
What's your goal here?
I really just want them to, I want to be like, hey, I am Orbital, everybody like get out of your cars.
I think that's negligible. They're already doing that. Like you don't have to like do a move for that. Like
Oh,
they're already
perfect.
getting the fuck out. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The civilians are not a concern in this.
Oh,
in this
okay.
series.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure
Mhm.
people are so.
You can still do that. Like we can see that on the page. It's just
Yeah. I
it's-
don't
it's
need
a
to do
given,
it.
yeah.
So I think like Rodasi's kind of like yelling out, and she's like, they're Floss and Manny over there. There's stuff happening, but there's also like
Yeah.
panic. So what she's gonna do is what I really want to do is like get everybody out, and then just
one
start
woman
like stacking
carrying a baby. The little kid points at you. He's like, "That's not our."
That's not Orbital.
This is the real Orbital.
She just starts stacking cars on the like to make a road, right? Like she's like, I'm just gonna put like clear
Right.
this
You
road
clear
so
the
people-
center of
Yes,
the
yeah,
center
yeah.
lanes and yeah.
and that so I wanted to do that, which also doesn't feel like I'm unleashing my powers.
No, that doesn't seem like a stretch. Like it might like sort of it keeps you out of the scene for the moment.
Yeah.
So like you're not engaging, but like you do that easily. It just takes you some time.
Yeah. Which I think like now Rodasi, I want Rodasi to engage with the scene. So like, what does she then fly into? Right? Like kind of like she kind of looks over. Things are happening. There's this big scream.
So
like,
it might be
right,
like a little bit earlier. We cut to you a bit earlier.
Yeah.
When what happened? There was when Manny like lands maybe. Or like when Manny like swoops down and lands, maybe it like cuts across you and like you notice, and then like later on after you've stacked up the cars, then like the E onomatopoeia cuts over to you, and like that's when you're taking the scene.
Yeah.
So we're all at the same time.
Okay, cool. I was like, if time's an issue, then that's why I was thinking a move might be triggered. But if it doesn't, then I just kind of get there. This is relatively negligible. Rodasi is like I think she just sees everything. Doesn't really I think it might be more interesting again where like she doesn't register that Tanvi is like sided with these people, and she kind of just stands like next to her, right, and goes like, and it's just like,
hi, good, you're on the scene too.
Yeah, it's like I pat I think I just like get down, I like pat Rodasi on the side, say, all right, the gang's all here.
You pat Rodasi?
She pats herself and then she pats me.
I'm on the scene, and so are you. This is called self-assurance. I want
I praise myself, and then I praise one teammate.
I start by praising myself. Awful. She like pats Tanvi on the back, like, you know, kind of like we've seen this before, right? Like she kind of gives like a big thud because we hit each other. Is our relationship, and
it's cool. It's normal.
And it's like I think Rodasi's just like, who the hell are you guys? And like kind of like looks over to everybody else and like looks over to Tanvi and goes like, fill me in on the situation.
Like as you're standing next to Tanvi, like sort of face like almost like having a showdown in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
with Manny and Filodhas, you see from the bus, like in the background, like somebody's getting out of the bus, and so you see somebody get out of the bus. They stand up, they start dusting off their jeans. They reach down into the bus and they pull out a cowboy hat, dust it off, and then put it on their head. This is TV Kid.
Yeah, hold on.
TV Kid.
Oh,
coming out of the bus?
They're not in the pink jumpsuits.
Okay, just wanted to double check.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Is that a heel turn for the...
What a twist!
No, the implication here is that they are the escort.
They're the escort,
Yeah.
They're frazzled or they come out all cool? Like I kind of...
They come out all cool, but like they're not engaging right away. They're still like sort of they're cool dazed.
They're cool dazed, yeah, obviously. I kind of Rodasi is kind of waiting for either Tanvi to respond or Manny and Filodhas to say something, because she's definitely just kind of like, what's happening?
Yeah, what's our move?
Filodhas
I
is
think
still sort of getting to
Manny-
her feet.
Manny sees looks at Tanvi, right? Like stops the scream because everyone else is like, they're cowed. They're not a threat right now.
Yeah.
Manny takes takes a step forward with that big wing claw sticking out and like stares right at Tanvi.
You. I knew you were trouble. Ever since you came in to my life and ruined everything. Have you just been spending all this time pretending like you've changed, only to go back when things didn't go your way? Prove to me who you really are.
That's good. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Rue, I wanted to ask, like, if you two just want to engage, but I think Rodasi, like, being confused by the situation is gonna like step between the two of you, and be like, Camazons, hey, no friendly fire, all right? Like, calm down. Like, I think Rodasi is like kind of on the wrong side of this, right?
Mm-hmm. Like, wait,
Yeah,
I
hold
know
up,
what's going on. Which is good because I think like you're being like showing up. Tanvi was just like, oh, there's so much going on right now. I just people need to get out of here. So she was just like about to kind of answer you, but also just instinctively like pushing the ground under you so that you're being pushed away, because she's just like, you're like, and starting to say like you're not needed here right now or something, and probably would have thrown out like maybe like, this is a protocol, blah blah blah, that you're not needed here, but because Manny addresses her, she never gets to that. She just gets to pushing you away. To Manny, I think.
Can I pierce your mask, and that might help determine how you respond?
Ooh, yeah, go for it. I have
That's
some
fun.
thoughts, but I think that would also be interesting to start with that.
I have influence over you, so I get +1 to this.
I also really like that it's like Rodasi is between, like physically between the two of you, but she is like invisible to whatever's like happening. You know, like you two are just staring at each other, and there's like a whole thing going on.
I get 3 questions for you.
Oh,
Rue.
snap. Okay.
6 out of 10.
Damn. All right.
What are you really planning? What's the go? Well, so what do you intend to do? Actually, let's start there. What do you intend to do?
Okay. Yeah, her Tanvi's intention is to see this job through. She put in this favor, and she's finishing this favor. So when Manny addresses her, I think her answer is, you've gone into a situation, and we all have, where we didn't have all the information. You need to back off before you jump in here thinking you know exactly what's going on. And
that's perfect, because it draws parallels back to what we just did.
yeah. And you've got another buddy on this side too, and she like points out to Lila, who she knows that they have something between them that she does not know what that is. But she's like, I'm not taking all this heat.
Right, like this is not hold on.
You got someone else you should be calling out. I don't know if Lila's actually somewhere visible, so I could be just pointing to nobody.
Yeah. What do you want me to do?
Ooh.
Die. Perish. Fatality.
Want to...
Babality.
Oh. What does Tanvi want you to do? I think she...
True.
I think she wants, like, y'all to get somewhere safe, because I think
From
her I get,
Me
yeah,
specifically.
actually, because she's like, I'm gonna have to do whatever it takes to put this, to see this through, and if you're in my way, then I will have to dispatch you, basically.
Yeah, so you want us to leave you alone, basically.
Yeah.
Jesus.
How could I get your character to turn on Lila?
Ooh.
Love that. How could I get you to blank? So
That's
good.
very good. I guess I'll start with what Tanvi is thinking, and then I can maybe see if I
totally.
can get to that. Basically, like, Tanvi's thoughts are, she's not necessarily yet, like, in her head, she's reasoning out, like, I'm not a villain. I'm still being a hero, but I'm also just sticking to my guns, which is, if I agree to something, I see it through. And this favor was something that I agreed to, so I have to see it through, even if it's not something I agree with the idea that whatever consequences come out of this, I will be able to handle it afterwards. So, like, if this blows up in our faces, I will follow through on that. Like that's kind of where
Oh.
her hero thoughts are at, where she's like, it's not about always doing the right thing every single time. It's that you deal with the consequences every time you make a
Yeah.
choice.
It's about your integrity.
And we
Yeah.
and we were complicit in you like needing to fulfill this favor. Like,
That's true.
you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's like, you know, you're like,
Oh,
yeah,
that's true.
we needed help. We all agreed that I'll go talk to my contact, and this is what has to happen after that. Like,
We all kind of agreed to it at a certain
Yeah.
point, right?
Yeah.
to, like,
Okay,
Yeah.
so what I think the visual for that is we have that conversation about like, you need to get out of my way or I'll
Yeah.
put you in the ground, right? I think that happens by dialogue.
Yeah.
And then in the process, Manny does the little forehead wiggle that he just did with
Ooh.
Flois. And it's like, it's fading, right?
Mhm.
It's not really like a lasting power, but I think he like gets like a glimmer of your thoughts that you just described. That's like,
Okay, yeah.
this is a promise, and I see my promises through. And then another flashback globule that shows you like making the tattoos with Sparrow,
Mhm.
getting inked, and like making the deal with Lila. And then another globule back to like a random memory that the two of us had, kind of like early on when you first showed up, where you agree to help. Tanvi agrees to help Manny with something, like some extra chores or something like that Manny just can't get done in time. It's like, oh my god, like mom wanted me to organize all these bandages and medical supplies for the clinic, and I can't do it. And you're like, oh no, I'll do it. And Manny's like, oh, what do you want me to do? And Tanvi says, it's a promise. I always keep my promises.
Yeah.
So there's that moment, like, and the two of them have that like standoff. And Manny, I think, says,
I don't want to hurt you.
I don't want to hurt you either. But right now, you're standing between me and my objective, and I gotta do what I gotta do here.
You know I have to as well.
All right.
I think we that's like a 2-page splash of like sort of the two sides of the argument and all this wreckage, and then it like sort of in the faint background there's a billboard barely hanging on for Jemison's Meats, and this is where we get to our issue
Just zooms
regular
in.
uh advertisement for Jemison's Meats. Shepherd's pie coming soon to a freezer near you.
Oh boy.
Just
it's
Wash it
like a
down.
Pillsbury pie stuffed full of Slim Jims.
oh,
Or
No,
is
it's
it
like a-
just
It's like
does
a
it
Marie,
have like a
Marie
core?
calendars.
There's like a
Chicken pot.
potatoey core
just
to the
pie.
Potato
meat
core.
stick. Like a reverse corn dog.
Hateful.
oh my god.
Fuck, I should just went with churro. A churro flavored meat stick. Well,
Oh.
too late. Wash it down
Next
with
time.
the no duels. We'll be back in 5-10 minutes. See you later, folks. This is a Wednesday. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your Jemison's meat churros, everyone. We are getting right back to the action where one of our players has volunteered to murder another. Rue?
It's not quite how I
I-
remember that.
Murder Flois, the end.
No.
There's no move.
We had
specifying
our
order.
big like Cap versus Tony like face off, and now we gotta have some repulsors, like throw some repulsors and shoot some shields.
Yeah, actually, this makes sense because I think
Pick off the weak one.
Tanvi is still trying to get Manny to leave, and she knows that attacking Manny will just make him stay, so she will attack his comrades instead.
Jeez.
Oh, you learned so much.
You're
from
doing
Turnabout.
it.
Yeah, so Tanvi's like, all right, you can stay, but everyone else is in fire now too. And yeah, she goes for Flois. She still tries to attempt to make this not horrible, but she's also like, the longer I do this, the longer this whole job is gonna take. Just everything is just gonna get worse the longer this all takes.
For the purposes of this, like, we know that like Flo's is not gonna die. So like you can have your big like, I'm gonna drop a planet on you, and we all know Flo's is gonna survive.
I'm gonna drop your parents' mountain ship on you.
Bro.
I don't know if that's how my Earth powers work.
That's not
It
Earth
could
up
be.
there.
It could be.
Sure.
You could unleash your powers to extend them in ways you've never done it before.
You could turn that.
There is a
mountain upside
point
down
at which
and
like
just-
there is a scale issue.
That would be cool if I
It helps that
wouldn't
it's already
also
up there.
kill myself, probably. I feel like I don't think this is a precision act.
No, the thing is, you just turn the mountain upside down, and then like you land the point on Flo, so it pins her down.
So
It's only singular.
we see this, and then it's just Tanvi's like daydream, and she's like, "That would never work." Okay.
Yeah.
It's like it's the little crayon scribbling tactics.
This would be cool.
Very fun.
What does Tanvi do instead, though?
Well, I think Flois is like has gotten up and is like listening to this weird conversation that
Yeah.
you two are having.
Yeah.
And she just is really confused, right? And she's just is like, Tanvi, what are you doing here? Why are you with these weird people?
And I think sort of at you being questioned, like sort of by two of your teammates, you like we get like you like as you're thinking through this, and like you start to see red, and Empath is going to flush you full of adrenaline and rage, and try and push you to attack these people that are like questioning you, getting in your way. They hope to get you in this situation.
That's perfect, because that's kind of the direction I was
To
gonna
give you an
take
excuse there.
Tanvi anyway.
Nice.
Because yeah, I was gonna say, I think she somewhat like a little more expects like Manny and even Rodasi to like question her, because that's just is how it is. Especially her and Manny have a pretty
That's our dynamic.
yeah
Right.
like fraught relationship. But I think she's always like, no, like me and Flois, we just understand each other. Like things just need to happen.
You just had a thing.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just had like a fight where it was like we had trusted each other, and we just went in and took this thing out. So I think she kind of turns on you, and just the frustration all gets thrown at Flois. And she's like, how do you think we got the information the other day? Do heroes just think information just magically comes with no strings attached, and people just want to help us no matter how they're aligned? And she's like, this is the obligation I had to fulfill to get the information about the red dots for you guys. Why doesn't anyone understand? This is the things that we have to do sometimes. Sometimes you have to do bad things to get what you want in the end. And then I don't think she like drops something on Flois, because she's like, well, Flois is just super strong, so she'll just like take that. So she pulls a similar move to what we did to escape from the red dots, which is pull you underground, because she's like, I don't think you can get out of me just opening up the earth and like swallowing you down.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't think she puts you entirely under the ground. I think like that.
Do you do the same thing that you did to Manny? The thing that I can't forgive you for?
I
You
think
put him in an orb.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too, but I was like, well, I don't know if Flois is really afraid of orbs, but I think like that's how I kind of like make it better for myself, where I'm like, well, I'm not putting you entirely like under the earth, which is scary and freaky. I'm putting you in this like little bubble above, like partially under the earth, but your head is above.
I'm encasing you in this stone ball, right?
Yeah, and I think like thinking the same thing of like, well, you're not afraid of small spaces to my knowledge, so I'm just keeping you contained in a way that keeps you out of harm's way.
Really, if you think about it, no space is not a small space.
Sure, Kevin. If you think
What the
about it.
fuck? That thought comes into
Philosophy
Tanvi's
101
head, and
called.
she's just like, what?
Cool. So I think you sink her down, and I think she isn't gonna take that lying down. So I start trying to like, what? How could you possibly? And she's just like, and we just hear like big crunching sounds.
Yeah.
And
I think your head is still above, but it just has this weird like rock orb around it.
yeah. I kind of want to say she's trying to do like, you know, like how the Flash can like use his power to like vibrate himself real fast. She's doing
Yeah.
like her like, I'm using my leap power to just like smash myself against it, to try and like crack out of here, because I think that would be fun to see if that's something I
You're
can
like pinballing
do.
against the inside.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah. But I think I might. That would make sense to me as an unleash my power to see if that works or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're worthless. This is much
Yeah.
harder for you now.
All right. Well, I rolled
Wow.
a 1, so I definitely
Oh, boy.
am not getting out of here unfazed.
Well, enjoy the potential.
Yeah. How's that
Stack
going
that
for
up.
me, Kevin?
I think counter to like what the easy answer is here. Like Lila is like in the background just pulling strings. You get flooded with like what's it, serotonin. Like this is real relaxing. Like you're like being swaddled and like you start to relax.
Like a weighted blanket.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice. That's neat. Yeah, so I think we hear the like thump noises are like starting to fade a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting sleepy.
Yeah. But I think like she's still just like what's happening? We see like her like speech bubble is getting really like fuzzy around the edges. But it's still just audible through the stone to the others who are close by.
Yeah, Manny sees that happen and he like whips around to Lila, and he starts to like, I don't think rush, but he definitely like braces, like I'm gonna rush you. Like he shifts his whole countenance, like a Dark Souls boss telegraphing they're going to like hit you. So swings away from Tanvi. Because he's like, when she uses her powers, is there like a glow or some other sign that she's like affecting people's emotions?
There. I think it's sort of visually, like for the page, it's there is like a glow and there's like a mist, but like sort of in like sort of this comic science, it's all like chemicals and pheromones and like stuff like
Pheromones
that.
and stuff, right?
What it is,
Yeah. So he's like not necessarily aware that she's controlling people,
Right.
But he whips over to her like,
What are you doing here? I thought you were my friend. I thought you were. Why are you doing this?
And she's like gonna reach up, like you're getting like intimate space, like you're getting up in her face, right?
yeah, he's like gets close,
Yeah. She's gonna reach up,
not
and like, try and-
threateningly, but like almost like, I'm trying to hold space, but also like, what?
She's gonna approach and like try and put like a hand on like your cheek. If you allow it, do you like pull away from the panel?
Well, I want to try and pierce her mask
Yeah. Okay.
first.
So as she's like reaching against, or as she's like closing the distance, she says, "Manny, we are friends. We are, and like I told you, and these are my friends. And like I told you, I just want what's best for us." Sort of
Right.
like capital U us, not like the
Yeah.
personal reference us.
So I got a miss. So I mark my potential. I think that's great too. That
Yeah.
like he can't see because he's getting overwhelmed by her powers. So I think she puts the hand on his cheek and like he starts to feel calmed. Like you see him soften a little bit
Mhm.
and maybe like start to shift into boy form
Mhm.
again.
Ooh.
That's
But is she trying to use her influence over me?
She, yeah, that feels right. Yeah, she's trying to use her influence to like shift your labels here.
Yeah, because she's like, this is not an issue. You don't have to. I'm trying to do this for us and everything, right?
She is trying to kick up.
To me, it feels kind of like danger down,
Down.
mundane up.
Yeah, that's what. I
Yeah,
was
danger
kinda
down. I think she wants to kick up your savior, and she's gonna do that by saying, "It's things aren't what you think they are.
Right.
We're not on the wrong side. You're not on the wrong side, but neither are we."
thinking.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to reject her influence.
Mhm.
Because this is like, we've had this thing, and now it's getting weird.
Yeah.
And that's a miss.
Ooh.
So her words hit me hard.
Yeah. And like she doesn't know, but like the writers know and like are using her to manipulate the audience. That like misunderstanding. Like you just went through like a big misunderstanding with the kaiju monster, with a bunch of the faculty, with each other and stuff like that. So like sort of that theme of like sort of miscommunications and like sort of cross lines. It's being tugged on here.
Yeah. So number one, I take condition.
Yes. What do you have?
Mark
left?
hopeless, and she was going to shift my savior up, right?
Yes, she wants to.
So
shift
my
your
savior's
savior.
at 3. It can't go any higher, so I mark an additional condition.
Mhm.
I'm like afraid, so now I'm
Nice.
at 5.
Oh
Ooh.
boy!
Yeah, 5
It's
for 5.
good.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So Manny is
We're
like,
hitting boiling point.
the hand goes on and he starts to soften and he pulls back in kind of like shock, right? There's like the exclamation marks are coming off of his head, and there's like swirling thoughts. So he's got a thought bubble like, she was my friend and she was trying to help, and I know there's always something else going on, but not like this, right? Like it's just pure confusion.
Mhm.
So I'm okay with pivoting spotlight from here.
And like
I-
sort of.
Can I?
we all want to do things. This is
I have a
good stuff.
very quick thing that can be of no consequence to other people afterwards. So I think seeing this exchange, I'm kind of like, okay, well, Lila is handling Manny at the moment, which to me is like, okay, well then she's not leading the team, and the team needs to have direction. So she's just gonna yell out to the other villains. She's like, I better not be doing this for nothing. Are you in your places?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, does something and then turns towards Rodasi, because her idea is that you're the big threat now, and I need to keep you in check while the rest of these guys do their thing.
I was gonna suggest that like when Manny runs off, almost simultaneously, Rodasi just fucking picks you up and we go into the air. Because Rodasi just saw like you just fucking attacked us. Like there's no denying that, right? Like
Tanvi,
so-
are you cool with being like sort of Willy Wonka's elevator dog?
Yeah,
do-
I am
Okay.
good with that. I'm also good with like that being just right after I
yes.
Yeah.
throw out my
Yeah.
command, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, all right, time for and you're just like in the
there's like
air.
a just
So
like
what I
kind of
think-
all happen simultaneously, and we're like,
So I think it looks like is like Tanvi, like you give that order, and like these kids and like these other like sort of like C tier, B tier villains are standing up, dusting themselves off. Now they're not like their ears are still ringing, but they're like sort of getting out of that daze. One of them stands up. The one that was sitting next to you in the back of the bus, the football player, the fullback, is standing up. He's like, "Yeah, I'm ready," and like he gets fucking suddenly, like a close-up panel of him just gets knocked back from the forehead as a little stone pebble knocks him like about 8 feet back.
Jesus Christ.
And TV Kid has entered the scene. TV Kid is engaging, and then you suddenly, like, as you're about to react to that, like, you turn and Rodasi's like there in front of you, between, so like in your way of looking at TV Kid, and Rodasi whips you up into the air.
We're maybe, I'm really bad with distances, so like we're still like within the sphere. Like I don't pull you all the way out of this situation.
Are you as
Like,
tall as
maybe-
like the tallest building, or like higher?
Yeah, we're probably, it's like, is 20 feet not that high up into the air?
20 feet is about 2 stories.
That sounds about right. Like,
Oh.
you know, like enough to kind of disengage, but like,
Not like,
or like maybe
breaking atmosphere.
Yeah, you're not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Supermaning up to the, like, giving the
No.
rays of the sun.
think about it, it's more like all right, you're going in timeout for a second. We need to talk, kind of.
Right.
Right.
Like 30, maybe like 30 feet or something like that, or like about 3 stories up. Yeah, about the size of like whatever's around.
The size of an H mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Rodasi is like, just what is happening? Like, why did you do that? What is going on? Like, it's just kind of yelling at you, holding you. Like,
I love that you just keep getting questioned by everyone in turn.
Killer.
He's just like, this is the fucking trouble with having a team. You have to answer to them afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for like a second she's trying to like get her own, like she's trying to get rocks to come up so she can be like standing on a
Can
like
I-
a pedestal.
Rocks
I-
rise,
oh,
everyone dies.
I want to, I like one-handed because I'm strong as shit. I
Yeah.
kind of want to fight you're doing that, and I just
Yeah,
fucking swat him out of the way. Like you start to kind of, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah, because I think
Like-
I'm not engaging with your questions until I am like on my own like playing field.
I just like, I mean, like, you know, if we kind of, I don't know, clash in that sense, right? Like I
Yeah.
love that. I'm just, let's try to like, man, do we just get into a fight? Like, do you just fucking attack me? Or do you answer me? Because I think like if I don't, because like if you're kind of struggling to answer, or you're not answering quick enough, I think Rodasi is frustrated enough that she's just like rapid firing kind of at you, and I think she's all
Yeah.
like, she's like,
Tanvi, you
Are-
were full of fight right now. Like, you were full of adrenaline. And
That's true. Yeah, I'm still like amped up from Lila, and I don't think at this point I don't think like below I fought it, and I don't think I'm fighting it now either, because I'm like, I really just I think I need this extra oomph right now.
what was your villain name? Because you're Tremor right now, but we talked about
Oh.
how like you're trying that out, like that's like
Yeah.
something new to you.
I hadn't come up with what
Mantle.
her
Mantle.
Quake.
Yeah. Quake is a good one.
yeah, I'm trying to think what
Fault line.
Richter.
Richter
Richter is
great.
good.
Especially in
Yes.
California.
Yeah.
Because I
San
want
Andreas.
I think like if you want like a catalyst, I think like the question that like Rodasi like kind of is just yelling at you. So it's like, are you Tremor or are you Richter right now? Like, who are you?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
which
yeah, yeah,
one
yeah,
are
yeah.
you? Aftershock. That's another good one.
Then you just rip
Yeah.
a kidney stone out of Rodasi.
Jesus Christ!
Oh,
Pulls out a ball of iron from my fucking skin. What is she, Magneto? Jesus Christ!
yeah. That
Too
Tanvi doesn't
much
know about that
iron.
yet. Tanvi needs to go to more science classes before she can
She doesn't.
figure out that
Wait,
that's a
there's minerals in
possibility.
this body?
Calcium? What?
She'd be an idiot. She would probably pull it from herself first, like, oh, I have weapons, and oh no. I think her only answer to Rodasi is just like, you fucking idiot, and then she just is like trying to throw the rocks at you to like get out of your grasp. Yeah, I think she's just fighting you and not really wanting to answer. Also partially because she's like, I fucking have already answered this question in different forms already.
So many times.
Yeah.
It feels like one of you is trying to unleash your powers by overpowering the other because you never had to contend this way with the other.
I don't think
it's
Tanvi's
Tanvi.
ever dealt
It's got to be
with.
Tanvi because I was
Yeah.
thinking like having invulnerability basically makes it a little hard. Like I'm trying to think about like what would be enough to make me take a powerful blow, and I
Hey,
feel
you're,
like it's
you're invincible and super strong, right?
yeah.
So like you win this fight in theory.
In theory,
Yeah.
Right.
But it might. I
yeah.
think it. But I'm very open to with the circumstances. Like if you wanted to unleash your powers, like to see if you like break my guard, like if you
Yeah.
like floor me. Yeah, even Superman gets fucking downed, right?
Mhm.
If it's like unexpected. Or
You're not immune to the laws of physics.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although technically I control it, but it's fine.
You
It's
control a
fine.
lot of them. Yeah.
No, but I'd love to have Tanvi fucking unleash your powers at me.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tanvi could be directly engaging a threat,
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
and if you take the blow, then you take a powerful blow.
Then I take a powerful blow. That makes.
and then
Well,
we'll
I
figure
mean,
that
no,
out.
Tanvi takes the powerful blow.
Oh, okay.
You don't,
Yeah.
because you're invulnerable,
'Cause I'm invulnerable.
right? Like you would take a condition for sure
Mhm.
for trading blows. But I think if Tanvi gets hit by you with your super gravity strength,
Yeah.
Tanvi doesn't have the protective layer that you do.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kevin? Where are you leaning on triggering moves?
No, I'm really trying to think outside the box of move-based design.
Stop.
But...
Your own personal work. You're like, I'm kind of. What are you thinking?
Where are these just adult moves? Where are they? There it is. I mean, yeah, it sounds like Tanvi's trying to directly engage a threat, but like you're also, I think the consequences make more sense. This is sort of the blows to take this away from them.
Well, what's Tanvi's intent, right? Is
Yeah.
Tanvi trying to hurt Rodasi, or
Oh, that's
like
important. Yeah.
get you off of?
It seems
Get
like
her
well,
off of you.
you were saying like you're not fighting like these sort of angry emotions that are being pumped into you and like, you're
Yeah.
leaning into it. It
Yeah,
seems like
she's
Rodasi's
leaning
more
into
like
it.
trying to mediate than fight, right? If I'm understanding.
Mhm.
No,
Yeah.
Rodasi's like asking questions. She's not attacking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think she's like kind of at the end of her rope. So like I like the idea of this being like Tanvi would probably throw the first punch and then we can
Yeah.
see whether or not
I
Rodasi,
think
like,
Tanvi's in a place where she's like, you are all just getting in my way. If you would just step aside, this would be so much easier.
yeah.
Yeah, if you're pushing Rodasi aside, I think that's an unleash.
Yeah. So
Because
like,
if
what's
Rodasi is
your-
actively fighting you back, then you're directly engaging a threat.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
and if we want, we can say that Tanvi like throws the first punch, like fictionally. But,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if Viditya wants to do the role, then like the response is directly engaging a threat.
Yeah.
Got
100%.
it, okay.
Alright. Order of operations.
It's like we can be flexible here.
Yeah.
You're the
Unleash.
PEMDAS of PBTA move.
Cool. Yeah, and I think, how would she, I think she maybe, like, kind of, like, maybe, like, hold on to you so she's not, like, just flailing in the air. So it kind of maybe looks like Tanvi's like, okay, I'm, like, ready to talk or something, and it looks like she's, like, disengaging her rocks. But what is
Oh, yeah.
happening is that they're, like, powering together, going back to that, like, forging a weapon thing from the kaiju fight. She's, like, further down, putting it together into, like, just a really big, I don't know, like, not spear, but just, like, a really large, like,
Scythe,
projectile.
scythe.
Oh,
Scythe, did you say?
Dang.
she
Yeah.
puts it into a scythe.
From your favorite TV show.
Yeah.
Becomes SNL.
She was like, I just watched that episode of A Natural Disasters where
Jesus
scythe was
Christ.
on fire.
I mean, listen. Tanvi and Rodasi definitely watch episodes of The Natural Disasters together.
In college, did you? Are
Did
you
you
caught up?
fucking see that? Yeah.
because I'm about to tell you some spoilers. Yeah, I think she like puts a weapon and like she's kind of giving you answers, but it's for playing for time because the weapon comes out and it's like
you're like surprise attacking me.
Yeah,
basically.
she's like trying to pull it from behind you. I'm gonna say she's
like,
gonna try to
huge.
pull up like rocks that are a little heated up from the pressure of being so far down in the ground. Like I think she really unearths some like
No, yeah,
Yeah.
like we cut
set
back to over
rocks.
like that crack, exposing the San Andreas fault, like some magma and some molten, and like some rocks fly out from there, like from a mile away.
Jesus Christ. You're
So in the meantime, I think she's just like, you fucking idiot, Rodasi, you don't know what you're talking about. This is how I got the information for the red dots. How do you think I got it? I had to call in a favor. This is what the favor is. This is how villains work.
This is what but like you're actively doing a crime. Like this is a bad thing, you know? Like
Somebody's just like, what kind of favors did you think a villain would want except
know.
to do a crime?
I'm gonna be honest, Tanvi. I thought you'd come to us and we'd help you not work for a villain anymore.
These contacts are important. They have information that we need. We can't burn these bridges. I would come to you, but then we'd never be able to go to this contact again. I can't sever that tie right now. Like, Lila's into some, I don't know what this is. She's like starting a revolution or something. If we cut off these people, we're never gonna know what's coming. This was the whole problem with the kaiju. We didn't have information. We need information first before we jump headfirst into situations. We get information by connecting with people that are maybe not, exactly on track with what we're doing. But that's how we figure out what the other side is up to. This is how the world works, Rodasi. Everything is in black and white. You can't just think that you can't get your hands dirty if you want to be a hero.
Do you have influence over Rodasi?
You might. God knows you might.
Probably
I
do.
am influenced by
Yeah.
Moody. Yes,
That
I
sounded to
am.
me like you were trying to shift Rodasi's labels.
Yeah.
Tell her
I-
how the world works. Nice.
She's very susceptible to that right now. Kind of being like, I don't know what to do with my world.
Yeah.
Because I think like you're making sense. Like to a degree where like Rodasi's like, yeah, I guess. But I'd love to. Yeah.
Let me
So you're
see.
spending that influence. I think then I'll just accept whatever label shifts you toss at me. I think that's more interesting right now.
Let me see where
To kind of put me off guard for this molten scythe that you're tossing at me. You know? You're fucking,
Every other
what is it,
panel.
Iron Man 3ing this situation?
I mean, you can be doing that while this is happening, right? Like,
yeah.
Like that's
That's
like, those are
totally-
still on
yeah.
approach. Like while you're
Yeah,
this
that's
is
the thing.
my attempt
Well,
to,
I imagine like you're trading the strikes back and forth.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
this
that's
is a duel of the fates kind of thing.
Oh, I thought this was like she was like buying her time for like a sneak attack on me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
What
was
were you
at least
thinking?
what it was starting as, was like me just trying to keep you occupied while I did
Yeah,
this.
I mean, because I think that makes sense. That's how you would like knock Rodasi out or something like that. Like that's how.
Yeah, because I think that you recognizes, like, if I just directly go for you, like, you're gonna take me out. You have me in the air right now. I'm away from my element.
what labels you shipping?
Okay. Are these labels on the?
It's the same for everybody. It's danger,
Okay.
freak, savior, superior, and mundane. If you want a suggestion, it sounds to me like you're shifting danger up and superior down. Like, we have to do dangerous things to get things done, and you need to be stop being such a friggin' Boy Scout about it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that makes sense. That like what you know to be true is not actually how the world works.
Right.
Nice.
And I'll do that. My super is at -2 now. That's fun.
Woof.
Wow.
Yeesh.
Doing
Rough
great.
spot for the legacy.
Yeah.
And then you hit Rodasi with the rock stick.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Let's see if that works at all.
Let's go ahead and directly engage the threat.
Okay.
Because
Is
you
it
want
Is
to
it
hurt
unleash?
Rodasi, right?
Or...
is it unleash or directly engage?
Well, like, what's your? Do you want to hurt Rodasi, or do you want to like sort of overpower them and like sort of?
I think if you're trying to catch Rodasi off guard, that's an unleash.
Okay.
Because to directly engage a threat, the two of you have to be
To clash.
fighting. You have to be like
Right.
Actively fighting. Okay, yeah. Then I think unleash my powers makes sense. Also,
that's a
because
roll.
it's, I feel like what I'm trying to do is
A
kind
new
of out of
thing.
the scope of what I normally do, which is like having this emotional conversation and also creating a weapon
Yeah,
from
you
afar.
usually just hit. You throw
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, like, you know, this is the first time you're calling something that's out of eyesight for you. At least what
Yeah.
we've seen, right? Like, this
Mhm.
is you're
Go ahead and
pulling
roll
on
plus freak.
roll plus freak.
See how this goes.
Nice.
And you have +1 to that because you have influence over Rodasi.
Oh,
You get +1 to all rolls that target
oh.
anyone you have influence over.
Nice.
Very cool.
So it's a 10.
Yeah.
So describe how Rodasi dies.
Tanvi, finally, I've defeated you, Orbital.
I love the idea that like you say all these things, Rodasi, like you feel her support you, right? Like before she was just kind of lifting you up, but now it's like, you know, she's like making you a little weightless as she's like
Mhm.
like there's like a moment where like you look, she looks into your eyes and her face softens, like she calms down for a second and goes, all right, Tanvi, sure, there's a lot going on here, but I'm listening. And then like just gets fucking blindsided by this thing in her back, right?
I'm
Like,
listening.
Yeah.
Boosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think before Tanvi is just like, good, I'm glad. And then it
oh
like,
fuck!
Wow.
Cold-blooded.
Yeah, and then it's one of those big panels
It's a-
where you're like doing the Samus Aran like
Yo, yeah.
back arc
Yeah,
with the
100%.
crack thunderbolt coming
Mm.
even behind your head.
Yeah, it is. And like, oh my god, I think I just start falling. Oh, well, I take
Yeah.
a condition. No, that's I mean, I can't take.
You're allowed to take conditions whenever you want.
betrayed.
Oh my god, because I was like, but maybe I'm angry, but no, I think I'm like afraid.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
hit by something.
I've been like felled.
This is the
For
first time anyone's caught you off guard.
Yeah. You see,
I mean,
like-
that could rather than condition be taking a powerful blow, because it's not like necessarily
yes.
about
Yeah,
the
no,
that makes a
harm,
lot more
but it's
sense.
about your ego and the psyche of it. Because you can
Nice,
take
yeah.
powerful blows from things like, if you're the Janice, like you come home and your mom has your mask in her hands,
Oh,
you know,
nice,
and you're
nice,
like,
nice.
oh my god, my secret identity is blown.
I definitely want to. I want to take a powerful
I
blow.
want to take a
Fucking
powerful
Yeah.
Shut up and have a bit to do this.
Yeah, roll plus
Uh,
conditions marks.
I mean, maybe you
The
should make
buttons in
yourself
the
invincible.
top right.
And maybe you should engage with people emotionally more.
Who knows?
That's fake.
Instead of running away from my problems, what are
Yeah.
you talking about, Kevin? It's worked great for me. No, my question is, should I mark afraid first and then have it be worse for
Yes,
me?
you should definitely
Yeah,
do that.
totally.
Okay, yeah, and then I'm gonna take a powerful blow. Wow, that's a full hit. Jeez.
Awesome.
On a 10 plus, choose one. You must remove yourself from the situation by fleeing, passing out, or etc. Or you lose control of yourself or your powers in some terrible way. Or you choose two
Oh.
options from the 7 to 9 list, which
Um,
include lashing out verbally, giving ground, or struggling past the pain.
My powers. Oh, I have. Okay, I want to set the stage a little bit
Let's
because I
go,
feel like
let's go.
we're culminating, right? There's
Yeah.
kind of a lot happening with this fucking car crash. Rodasi archbacks, just betrayal like in her eyes as she like looks at Tanvi, absolutely unsure of what's happening. I'm just doing Avatar. 1 second, and then I think like there's like a flashback. You see like in Rodasi's eyes, the fucking black hole of like her where she gets her powers, like there's just like, and it starts like rippling out of her. Like there is just like power and gravity. Like she's just floating there, kind of writhing, and stuff is just floating and orbiting and crashing into each other. I think like it gets, if you're okay with this being like the scene, like gravity just goes crazy. Like she becomes a center of mass for like a bunch of stuff that's just crumbling and breaking apart and like spiraling around and things like that.
I've seen everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
We're gonna put a pin in that real quick, and then
Yeah.
while that whole thing was happening, we're gonna see what was happening on the ground. Flois, you are being swaddled. It's real comfortable. So do we get from your perspective the scenes that happening, but it's real serene. Like you're like if this was a show, like it'd be real calm music happening, like this real violent scene. The villains are starting to get up. What you saw one of them get beamed right in the fucking face with a pebble, real bad. Might be dead. Who knows? We don't know TV Kids' sort of moral scale yet. You see Becky Kelsey like standing up, and like a bunch of these kids, or like the one that is Becky Kelsey. You don't know that it's Becky Kelsey. This little witch in a domino mask. A bunch of these villains are running up like towards TV Kid. A bunch of them are getting nailed down. It's very reminiscent of like a Spielberg shot from D-Day of like Saving Private Ryan. Like it's very
They're just going
inspired.
pew, pew,
Yeah.
pew.
And then
Little things.
Becky Kelsey makes it up to the front, and like she grabs the brim of TV Kid's hat, pulls it down, reaches in, and like she pulls it down, and TV Kid disappears into the hat.
Oh,
She reaches into the hat, and then it's like a little bunny that looks just like TV Kid.
That's the
That
greatest thing I've
rules.
ever heard.
That's so good. Like a little doll.
Yeah.
That's
And then-
awesome.
And then her and a bunch of the other villains like start climbing in the bus.
That's
and then
awesome.
a bunch of like people in like pink jumpsuits start climbing out.
Nice. I think that is shocking enough that I am like shocked out of the weird haze that I'm in. And she's just like, what? And then I think, okay, so I'm sort of still like stuck. I think I start just like using my horns, like I'm like smashing my horn into the ground on one side, then the other side to like try and like split myself out of
Plowing
the.
yourself
Like
out
break
of the
the earth
ground.
a little.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on, boys. This is your moment.
Yeah. And does that just work?
I think so. It's not
I feel like it
too-
wouldn't
it's not
take
as
too long,
dramatic.
right?
Yeah. It's like now the fact that you're not being directly engaged and like
Yeah.
Tanvi is not like compressing it on you directly, and you
Yeah.
have you have the time. Like you're able to get yourself out while all that is happening.
Cool. So I think I see this going, and like, do I recognize any of these like pink suited people? Is anybody like, oh shit, this is probably what they're doing, or like, what's going on? I think I'm actually gonna hang back, instead of jumping in like I usually would, and just like we see her like taking an extra second to be like, okay, I actually need to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah, the kid who got beamed in the head, like at first, starts to come back to. Like he's walking out of he's walking from between a couple cars. It's like, Flois, like he calls your name, and like you look at him, and he looks at you, and like you're like fullback from the football team.
That's amazing. Oh, and I was angling for and assess the situation there.
Perfect. Yeah, let's
Let
go
me-
ahead and have you roll.
Get that one and see how it goes. Okay, I got an 8. Nice.
On an 8, you ask 1.
Okay. Yeah, I think what I'm looking for is like, I think her assumption is that they're not hitting this bus to get a bunch of people out of it. They're hitting it to get one really
yeah,
important supervillain out, right?
Yes.
So I think I'm gonna say what here is the biggest threat.
What here is the biggest threat? I think Tanvi is no longer. It's not yet that Rodasi is going like.
Right.
what's it, nuclear terminal. I don't know.
Nova.
Critical.
Critical.
Yeah. So that's not it. Tanvi is engaged with the Rodasi, so that's not it. Lila might be, but she's engaged with Manny. That's not it. So as you're like looking around, you're like sort of like ticking off all these boxes. Sort of Becky Kelsey and a bunch of these villains that went in from the Mutant Liberation Front are coming back out, and Becky Kelsey's like got like sort of a is like helping someone out. It's a real like maybe 3'10" tall kid, missing an arm, missing an eye.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Ah.
Sammy's back
Oh, that's so
in
good.
a little pink jumpsuit,
Oh, buddy.
sort
dang.
of seemingly covered in like some
Why'd
some
you
like
get
green
put in
ooze,
there?
like from if you did see into the bus, like when they were like he was in like this like back to tank-esque type thing, being contained in that.
Is
Nice.
it the same kind of ooze that was in Manny's origin story?
No, but
Dang it.
Sammy
But-
was exposed to that ooze, and that's what made him a transformed in the first place.
Okay, cool,
Yes,
cool, cool.
but
Okay.
that is not the containment ooze. No,
Yeah, okay. It's
Okay.
it's healing back to not.
This is a friendly.
well,
use.
it
Not-
is just containment back there. Like this is like knocking him out and like making sure like if he is transformed, and like it would like sort of absorb the kinetic energy and stuff like
stasis sauce, not mutagen.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Nice. I think that she is like takes a half step back because this is not what she was expecting at all. And I am gonna mark insecure because I'm being confronted with my greatest failure.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Consequences
Dang.
of your actions. What?
In this game
No.
with this group.
And like that is the biggest threat because like Sammy, for all the other like regardless of the reasons and like everything else, Sammy is a little ticking time bomb.
Right.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
know what happens.
That's super reasonable. Okay. I think. Yeah, I think her instinct would be like, I need to try and get him out of here before these people can do whatever it is they're planning to do with him. So we see her like her little hoof where she had taken a step back, like slide forward again as she's getting into position to like do a leap, and she's like kind of doing that. Like we get like a close up on her sense tendrils as they're like twitching, like trying to calculate the exact angle she can take to like jump right into the middle of this group and grab him and get out.
Yeah.
And presumably at a dramatically appropriate moment I go for it, but we can get that too whenever it makes sense for everybody else.
Yeah, it might be since we are coming up on time. That might be the kickoff of next issue here. I want to see Manny. Manny, you are freaking out. You are being confronted with the fact that sort of there was some miscommunication. You might not understand the situation as much as you thought. Apparently, Tanvi is turning back to her old ways in some degree. Lila's trying to convince you, like, no, we're not the bad guys. We might be on opposite sides, but we're not on the wrong side.
Yeah. Manny, I think, like, has had his moment of shock and closes his eyes and then opens them again with some resolve, and kind of takes a step back. Like, he's been in aggressive mode, now he steps back into that sort of like more restrained, monstrous form, and he says,
Lila, I know you're angry. I know you want to make people pay for the things they've done to people like us. I know. I've seen it. I know what they did to that kid. It wasn't right. But that doesn't make this right either. You're right. We don't have to be on opposite sides. But this is not the way to do it. You and I both know that if we give in to our darkest desires, society is going to see us as monsters, and they'll use that has the ammunition to do whatever they want to us.
I am going to mark my Doom track
Uh-huh.
because the new Doom sign that I just took
Yes.
is bolstered, which lets me use an adult move
Ooh.
one time. And the adult move I would like to make is empathize.
Ooh.
When you openly empathize with someone, roll plus mundane. On a hit, they must reveal a vulnerability or mark a condition. On a 10 plus, take influence over them as well.
Very
See
cool.
that mundane.
Do it. It's a miss.
Oh,
Just guttural screaming, and you can see like these. What's it called?
purple.
These like lilac colored vein, like her veins like start to grow lilac and like sort of around her eyes and shit, as like she's start to pumping herself up full of chemicals, and she's like, they already see us as weapons. Doesn't matter if we are their friends, doesn't matter if we're their family, sons, daughters, and like big italics on daughters.
Right, right.
They already see us as threats. It does not matter.
So you want to throw everything away now? We have the chance every day when we wake up to be better than what they think we are. You don't have to prove them right, Lila. I know you're smarter than that. You don't have to throw it all away right here and now.
And he's like crying
Mm-hmm.
through this, you know, in this big monstrous face. I want to do that again.
Yeah.
Not empathize. I wonder if I did this the other way around. The other move I want to try and make here is persuade with best interests.
Okay.
It's like it is in your best interest to
Right.
walk away from this. Like you've already done the damage. If you stop now, we can maybe do some damage control. But if you keep this up, the red buttons are gonna use this. The media is gonna drag you even harder. You're gonna make a lot of people. You're gonna get a lot of kids hurt. I think he slips that in there. I didn't say that, but I think he slips that in. Like,
There's a lot of kids that don't need to be dragged into this, into your quest. Don't make it about
Nice.
them.
don't right, you know.
That's cool.
Which I'm miserable at because it requires superior.
Yep.
Oh dang.
And I have -2 superior right now. But I want to do it for fun. Yeah. Okay. That's a 1. This, which is, you know, this fits the theme. It fits the whole context.
Yep.
They dragged kids into this. We were born this way. They are this way. They had their chance. Not again.
Through tears, he just like sinks his shoulders, you know, like sulking, this big sulking beast.
Don't make me hurt you. Don't let it end like this.
Kind of reflecting what he said to Tanvi earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's genuine. It's very genuine.
And she is like sort of real bitter about this, and she's like, "Oh, honey," and like where earlier, like when you first met, she's like, "Oh, honey," like very sympathetically. Now it's like there's like some venom in there.
There's like the icicles dripping off the bottom of the speech bubble.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not making you do anything. This is your choice. And like very implying, like if I wanted you to hit me, I could pump you full of adrenaline and make you look like the bad guy. But I'm not. This is all you. And then You just like sort of get this like ripple and this wave, and like get this flip, 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 flip. As and like sort of you're all distracted. Like Floss, you land in the middle of them, and like you're about to reach out for Sammy, and Sammy's like real confused, like not really like don't touch me, but like oh shit, something just happened, and like sort of like,
Right.
a lot of things are going on right now. I'm just coming back awake, and then everybody looks up. And there's Tanvi next to Rodasi, who's like got like that very arched back, sort of like emanating from their chest is like are not emanating actually, just like imploding is like all of this debris coming in there. Tanvi is like sort of struggling not to get pulled into there. Probably has to like Tanvi has to reinforce himself like with some stones and like start being pulling away. And even as because somebody was too much of a coward, but I'll do it anyway. The big mountain is starting to come down.
Yeah.
Like shit is getting ripped up, shit is getting ripped down and sideways, and all of that. Like Rodasi is going critical right now.
Oh yeah, 100%. Ooh.
I think that is the last panel of our issue 18.
Yeah, maybe the shadow of the mountain is like bisecting across it,
Mhm.
right at where Rodasi is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Ooh.
Now we get to talk. We get to our little decomp chibi face interview with all of the characters to see how they're all feeling. Right. Where we get to do our end of session.
Innocent face on her cheeky. What?
It's just my character.
Yeah,
It's like
I'm just
it's like
playing
Horizon
my
Station,
character.
like
what
weird
my character
actors.
Actors playing these characters. I'm
Oh,
gonna go
I'm
to a
just taking a
charity
lot of lines.
event right after this.
Prince
Yes.
Ismail is like one of my biggest inspirations. Because I try my best.
At the end of every session, we get to see how the characters are feeling in regards to one another. Let's start out with the standout, the sort of the far end of the bell curve here. Tanvi, how you feeling?
Yeah.
You think you grew close to the team?
I think
We became really good buds in this episode.
who made you feel welcome? Every single one of us.
You know,
I-
it's just like every
They're
time
all
you come home.
close to my little rock creations, and that is my heart.
When POC want to show love, they ask like, "Have you eaten? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Please stop."
Yeah.
Ow,
Their
that
eyes
hurts.
get really big and wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tanvi grew into his own image of himself.
Nice.
Yeah, I think more than like growing apart from everyone, I don't think that Tanvi necessarily sees it that way. So yeah, I think they're kind of like, I know what I'm doing, and this is I'm making the right choices. Y'all are
You're self-assured rather than like
just
you're willing to put the strain on the relationship with the team
Yeah.
yeah.
to do what you're doing, like because you know like, oh, we'll come around at the end of this
Yeah.
if everyone would just get on board.
Yeah. Or I will deal with the aftermath when
Right.
it comes.
Rather than I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It feels like savior up and maybe mundane down.
Oh, interesting.
But-
Yeah. Mundane down. feels
Yeah.
Oh, and like you're feeling. This is what you think.
I
a
could
hero
see,
is.
yeah, either savior or superior.
Superior. It sounds
Yeah.
more like superior to me. 'cause
Superior,
you're
I think,
like,
is what I meant.
I know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
and the rest of you pissants don't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I
None
get
of you
how.
are holding to your like. You put me in this situation. Like I'm holding to my word is bond. But
Yeah. And I
okay,
think
y'all.
it makes more sense that she would have kind of like a grayer view of the world where it's like sometimes you gotta make deals that don't feel good to get what you need.
Nice.
Yeah.
Resident sad boy. Manny, how you feeling?
I
I think
say, that
Manny's
could go a lot
also
of places.
growing into his own image this time.
Mhm.
Manny was kind of all over the place. I think he's leaning into the monster angle, but like not from a bad perspective.
Mhm.
Like he's owning his nature in a way that he wasn't before. Before it was
Yeah.
like the world made me a monster, and I'm like, that makes me a freak, that makes me an outcast. And now he's like, I am a monster. What am I gonna do about it? I have to wield that responsibly. So to me, I think that means he's shifting his freak up. Of like, yeah, this is who I am.
Yeah.
Nice.
And maybe pulling his mundane down. It's like, yeah, I'm not a kid. Like I am a kid, but I'm always gonna be this. I can't turn that off.
And
I'm
especially
never
the
gonna
fact that
be
you,
normal.
People are always
you
going to
tried to talk things out and it didn't work. That was so
Yeah,
rough.
that too. Like maybe sometimes the answer is just to hit things. I don't know.
That's what Lila's saying.
Yeah,
Flois.
that's me.
I
how you
think
feeling?
this was a really interesting one for her. I think this might be my first time without doing a directly engage all episode. It's very very fun and fresh.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna put my danger down, and I think I actually kind of like putting my superior up because she was doing a lot of like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'm trying to like be cautious before I'm jumping in, and like getting a handle on stuff, which maybe is something she's learning from being in her weakened state. I hope. Yeah. So that for the first time in a hot minute, my danger is not at a 3.
Oh, actually, great.
All right. Rodasi, who made you feel welcome?
Me.
The void.
The void.
The bagel.
I'm taking influence away from Tanvi. I've gone away from the team. Why do I feel detached?
Is that going away from the team or is that going away from Tom?
It's well, no. I think the entire time she's just really confused. She like dropped into a situation because she's also like been a little bit attached from the team. Like last session makes sense, and she drops in here. I don't think it was dramatic. Like, I didn't think about this in the moment, but she probably. I think like in retrospect, she like, you know, was with Sean. She brings him, looks over, sees all of you at a situation, and she's like, "Oh shit, I'm not there." Like it's like y'all rallied without me. Like now, like kind of in retrospect, I feel like maybe she's like,
Yeah.
"I didn't call y'all to the situation, like, but you're all there and I'm not."
Oh, you're like the
love
last
Science
to
Land.
know.
Y'all went to Science Land without me?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, she got in between. She tried to mediate for a hot second, like to get in between Manny and Tanvi, but they just like completely like she was invisible to their conversation.
Yeah.
I feel like this. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think there's more instances of her kind of feeling like she no longer is seen or has control, but not in like a controlling way, but just like, you know, she doesn't have like, she's not really there with y'all right now.
Yeah.
And then she got stabbed in the back, which really cemented that.
Literally.
Wait,
stabbed
so?
in the back.
How's
explain
that?
it to me.
Explain.
There's two
There's two
kinds
kinds.
of weapons.
I know it feels like Macbeth. Is it?
Is it Macbeth? No, it's Hamlet. So
One of us is gonna turn out to be your dad.
And you won't believe who.
and you won't believe it. Take influence
Two more inside
over you
jokes.
away from another character, right? So I'm taking that away from Tanvi no longer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I
How
feel like that's unfair.
dare you?
And I'm glad that you used it. Like I'm really happy that it's like you used it in that moment. Now I was like, no more.
One and done. Cut off.
One last bit of bookkeeping here. So I filled my potential track
Yeah.
in that last scene. So the advancement I chose is someone permanently loses influence over you and add +1 to a label. So Lila had influence over Manny,
Yeah.
and he cannot be influenced by her
I
anymore.
love that.
That's so cool.
It's like, okay,
But
That's
then
the
how are we
way it
gonna do
is.
the Magneto?
We're
Professor
never going to be
Xavier
eye to
back
eye.
and forth?
Yeah.
Well, no, that's
I
the
mean,
thing
we can
is-
still do the back and forth. It's just he can't be influenced by
Well, no,
her.
now we
Yeah.
entered into, like now they're older and they're set in their ways, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If anything,
not-
it's getting more Magneto.
Magneto.
More Magneto and
Yeah,
Professor X,
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
They'll never find common ground at this point.
Right. And I added +1 to my freak on top of that.
Nice.
That is everybody, and I think in place of some alternate covers this week, if anybody has some ideas, I think we do get a little epilogue of sort of inside an ambulance. We see Sean sort of waking up
Oh,
in custody. Sean's like like handcuffed to this bed, this
Oh.
cart. Then he's like looks at it like, the fuck. Kind of duplicates himself, and then the other one like punches the other one in the face, the handcuffed one, and that one's gone. And he just climbs up the back of this ambulance and starts booking it.
That's
Does he-
so good.
I was
Does-
like, oh
is
no,
this-
Sean betrayed
Has
himself.
well, wait, hold on. Can I make a mention? Does he see? Is this as Rodasi is fucking going critical? Like, does he turn back and see that she's in danger?
No, he doesn't.
I'm-
He doesn't know it, but he is running in that direction.
Okay, cool. I just wanna.
Where is
Because
it?
I'm like, this Sean.
He just ran straight out from the back of this ambulance, and that happened to be.
Alright, okay.
We just get a shot of his foot leaving the ground.
Yeah. Just a
the
little
one who
like
put-
square.
He pulls me back out, and then we keep.
Play to find
Oh.
out.
Play to find out.
It's so cute. You think this is gonna be a happy ending?
He makes a Sean chain, like a bunch of Seans to reach to you.
Listen, Kevin. No matter what happens, I will write fan fiction about how these two end up together somehow.
Yes. And we will make Viditya read it live on air. So
Live on. Yeah.
That will be episode. That'll be issue 21.
Issue
The
21.
serious extra issue.
It's our what if Varsity Hues what if. Actually,
Yes,
that's a
yes.
fun idea. We should.
What
keep
if
that
they
in our
got
back
together?
pocket.
Yeah.
Keep that in our back pocket.
What if they
Uh,
got together, implying the reality is that they hate each other and will never get together?
No.
Forever anyway.
Cold. It's cold-blooded. I have an alternate cover, which is it's a street at night with a street lamp, kind of hard spotlighting Tanvi wearing his old Richter costume with the cloak, shot drawn from behind, standing in villain pose, looking at a mirror, and there's Tanvi in Tremor costume with the rest of the team, and we're all smiling and laughing and having a conversation, but it's a storefront window, and the window is shattered, so there's glass cracks through the whole thing.
Yeah.
nice.
Very good.
I have an alternate cover. It's written. It's illustrated like a magazine ad. And it's of what is the name of your species, Alex?
The Churton.
The Churton. It's
Yeah.
like Churton sleep blanket, or it's like get yourself a nice earthy weighted blanket, and it's of this little ad, and you see a Churton nicely sleeping under a whole giant kind of pebbly blanket.
Oh
It's
my
like a
gosh.
section of this is the rock layer, this is the
the
sediment
solid-
layer,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
soil, and this is the moss.
Yeah, the interior
Like their
is moss,
health
and it's still
benefits
nice.
of each layer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It's just a full weird infomercially ad. as the
Amazing.
cover.
Oh.
A scene on Churton TV.
See, Churton.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I don't think I have an alternate one.
No. Rue?
Yeah, I was trying to think if I had one, but I don't think I do.
It's all good. With that is the end of our time here with y'all. Let's give everybody time to let you know who they are and who their favorite Starjammer is. Starting with our producer, Rue.
Fuck. Just assuming you're just making teams up now.
I genuinely was like, who the fuck are these
Viditya,
guys?
you of all people should know the Starjammer.
I mean, they're clearly cosmic, so I'm gonna check it out.
The lesson here is Kevin reads comics.
Kevin's
Kevin
just
reads really
flexing on
shitty
us.
comics.
I'm not here for it. Hello everyone, I'm Rue. You can follow me on Twitter at Cherry Drop. I'm the producer for this show, and I also design games and write adventures. Slayer's Almanac just came out yesterday, I think,
Yeah.
and I wrote a district for that, and it's very good. Go check it out. I'll go find a link while everyone else outros themselves.
Simon.
Hey, I'm Simon. You can find me on Twitter at Lucha Libris. I write and publish tabletop role-playing games at colorspraygames.itch.io. I'm also on TikTok now, and I'm having a lot of fun making RPG content and miniature content. So if that's something you're interested in, it's also Color Spray Games on TikTok. I'm also a voice actor for the Penumbra Podcast, which is a queer sci-fi and fantasy audio drama. If you want to hear yourself represented in stories, that's at the Penumbra Pod on Twitter, thepenumbrapodcast.com.
Alex.
Hi everyone, I'm Alex Guerrero. Thanks so much for watching. You can find my games at fractaldragon.itch.io, and I'm on Twitter at @fractaldragon. And you can also check out my game Dragon Hearts getting played on the Gaming for Trans Rights tabletop podcast. Just put out their 3rd episode. It is extremely buck wild and cool. There's a dragon who has like a porcelain doll skin. It's really good and breathes nostalgia. It's amazing.
What?
And that's episode 3 out of 5. On episode 4, I'm like listening in and hanging out with them while they finish it up, and then on episode 5 we're gonna have a designer interview, which was a ton of fun. I gotta talk about all of my favorite dragons from my childhood, so that goes on for like an hour. Look forward to that.
It's me now.
It's you now.
Kevin, you have to say it.
You have to
Viditya.
say it. Hey everybody, I've been Viditya. I'll continue to be him, and you can find me online at Viditya Voleti on Twitter and vidityavoleti.itch.io to find my games like Bloodbeam Badlands and a free adventure I wrote for it that came out just the other day, and it's also an HTML embed, so it's free, it's easy to look up and use. Trying out different formats, and I'm having a lot of fun. So, Bloodbeam Badlands, gunslinging vampires in an apocalypse with an unsetting sun, and the adventure, The Blessed Lands of Brass Grove, has the vampires bump into the Holy War that started on the Wasteland, and you get to meet some really cool angels and demons. I really like my angels. Speaking of porcelain dragon skin, my angels are like weird, uncanny, like if you take like Renaissance statues and kind of break them and turn them into strange marionettes, like that's what angels look like, and they have like extra limbs. They're grotesque and opulent, and I'm a big fan of them, so you should go check that out. Yeah, and my favorite Starjammer is Havoc.
Gross.
I don't know. Does he
Hepzibah.
still do the hula hoop thing from First Class?
That's exactly why he's gross. Hi.
Or fucking Polaris, who's the daughter of Magneto. There's too many Summers on this team, and it's really strange.
Excuse you.
I'm I'm not even
Fucking Summer Scott Corsair Scott having his
Corsair.
dad
Yeah,
was on it.
That's what I'm really confused about.
Mustache.
He doesn't look good. He looks like I don't like his look.
No, he looks great. It's Burt Reynolds in a fucking Marvel comic.
That's who he reminds me of. I was like, who the fuck am I looking at right now?
Hi, I'm Viditya vlog when my pronouns are currently he, him. I would talk about more of my things, but Viditya ate all my time. So you can find me over on winconditions.com. Or no, you can find my games over there. You can find me over on foursquare.com/knit_knack. And you can also find me tomorrow along with two other degenerates here on twitch.tv/transplanter as we're on a sports panel for some ungodly reason.
No.
Because we're
We're talking-
sports balls people.
We're on a panel for Rule for Solidarity, where we're going to be talking about sports, sports in general, sports in the community of Asians and POC, and also in games, like just it's a time for us to talk about that, and it's cool.
Yes. Thank you so much for taking more of my time, Viditya. And you would also find me
Doing a
on
bad job.
Friday on twitch.tv/transplanter playing masks. You might see Vision over in that game. Going to Homecoming? Who knows? We'll see. Looks like we're going to be raiding Intelligamus.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go say hi to Intelligame. Josh, aka Wallstormer, is a fantastic person who does a lot of analysis on video games and society and how one influences the other and vice versa. A lot of really good conversations, a lot of really intense conversations. I believe he is currently talking about a lot of what's happened. So if you decide to join us, I hope you do, but content warning for important political discussions. I believe somewhere in there will also be some Floppy Nights gameplay. So who knows? But he's one of the most kind, but also take no guff people that I know on the internet, who believes in doing good without being a pushover. So that's something that we love here at All Nerds Here. Get your emotes out, show them some love, and we'll catch you all next time.
One more quick thing. Make sure to check out the Slayers book, because our good friend JR at JR Munger also wrote a whole district about being in the theater. So good reason to check it out. Two people here.
The ring. Also cat.
No. All right, let's get out of here.
Also, Angela is in there. Another
Yes,
A&H
Another
Angela.
wonderful
Phoenix Femme.
person, Phoenix Femme.
Who also wrote a collection of poems based on each of the districts.
All-star cast in that book. You should absolutely pick it up.
Mm-hmm.